What's going on in your life?
I have 2 boys, and one just started kindergarten, and he loves it.
Yeah.
He's got a great teacher.
Cool.
He comes home, and we do this. Like at dinner, we'll say, "What was your peak and pit? Like, what's your best part of your day, and what's the worst part?" And he, about half the time, he goes, "The whole day. My school day was great.
Nice.
Says something funny his teacher did or whatever."
Do you live here in Randolph, or?
We live in Evanston.
Okay.
So.
Is that where the radio station is too?
Yeah, we have 2 stations in Evanston. Actually, we run two stations in Evanston, and then we have a station in Soda Springs that we run out of Evanston as well.
Wow.
And then we cover Mountain View line
Are you who I'm supposed to give it to?
video, just like what I do. So we cover Rich, Evanston, Mountain View, Lyman, and then we have a station up in Preston, Idaho too. That covers another school right up there.
So like 4 teams or more?
Well, let's see, Rich, Evanston, Mountain View, Lyman, Preston, West Side.
They need to go to?
So
I
the
think that's
6
too.
we cover.
Wow.
He just
But
said
you're
to give it to you
totally
guys.
I'm
Rich.
Rich. In the spring, I do Evanston soccer and then Evanston baseball with the Evanston guy.
And I'll go ask
We work
him if I
together on
need to
that,
give it to someone.
and then put all the ads together and sales.
But you're the head of the sports at the radio deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So if something that you covered it falls in your lap, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
The buck stops with you.
That's right. Yep.
All right. Yeah, I was just telling him, I feel like I've been coming up here every year now I think we played here every year. I have to look and make sure, but man,
At
this
least
has
the
become
last.
my home away from home.
Especially when it's this far.
Yeah.
Did you stay last night in Provo, or you drive?
No, I'm staying tonight. I always stay the night after the game in Evanston.
Oh.
Just to break it up.
Where do you stay? Better spot than the right hash for a kicker because he can just push it right up through. Rich going for the field goal to win. Has this ever happened in Rich Rebel football? A field goal to win? Huffaker lined up. Oh boy, here we go. 4th down. Huffaker kicks it. It's up, and it is through. The Rebels win.
Rich Rebel football is on.
Jessen back looking to throw. Ball pops loose again at the Rebels hit him, and Riley Taylor is on it.
After a first-round exit in last year's playoffs, the Rebels return to the gridiron with hopes of taking it to the next level.
Huffaker takes the snap, throws deep, looking for Wilson, and he makes the catch in traffic at the 45 to the Altamont 40-yard line. Kyler Wilson.
Strap in and join us for Rich High School football on Rebel Radio KADQ FM 98.3 with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Auto Farm Chevrolet, Evanston Regional Hospital, by Plains Tire, the Come On In of Casper, by West Star Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, by Cash Honda Yamaha of Cache Valley, by the Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, and by mylocalradio.com.
Another give to Hislop. This time he's got some room across the 50, 45.
And now, Rebel football fans,
Takes the snap, keeps it himself right up the gut, and Hislop just grabs his shoulder pads from behind and pushes him forward. And Huffaker gets out across the 20.
hang up your hats, kick back, and get ready to run as we head to the field to join the play-by-play voice of the Rebels, Ryan STEINECKERT.
Good afternoon and welcome to Rich High Football on KADQ and mylocalradio.com this afternoon. A cloudy afternoon, but it's a little bit warmer than it may look out there, except for the wind. Right, Rob? Wind, not warm. Rebel football today hosting the Monticello Buckaroos as Rich closes out the 2019 regular season. Rich will get one more game on the schedule next week. That'll be on the road, and we're not sure where. RPI hidden for the moment. but we'll find out soon. Kickoff between Rich and Monticello scheduled for 45 minutes from now. In the meantime, the Rolling Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
In Rich County, we know that our children are our future. Helping our kids grow into kind, productive adults is a community effort. This is Rolling Kennedy, Auto Farm Chevrolet's Rich County representative, serving my neighbors for more than 20 years. My kids are Rich High School graduates. When you need a vehicle, come and see me, new or pre-owned. I'll always treat you with respect and honesty, the Rich County way. Auto Farm Chevrolet, we're a community-driven dealer. Go Rebels!
Welcome back to Rich High School and the Rolling Kennedy pregame show, brought to you by Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Rebels have a big game today. It's hosting the Monticello Buckaroos, and it's the final game of the regular season for 2019. Let's jump right into the J-Bar Excavation scene set. J-Bar Excavation, the team, the tools, and the experience for your excavation project. The visiting Monticello Buckaroos come into this one at 5-3 overall, 2-2 in the 2A North. And with an offense scoring about 22 points a game and a defense allowing 28 points per contest. Let's take a deeper look at the Rich Rebels. And if you're watching online at mylocalradio.com, you see some figures there. Rich at 0-7 and 0-4 in the 2A North. And the points for, points against, not pretty. Scoring 4 points, allowing 37. Last week at Duchesne, it was a blowout loss, 52-0 Duchesne beat Rich. Let's move on from that. That was like an early Halloween horror movie, the Rebels last week at Duchesne. So jumping into a little bit more on Monticello. They started the season 4-0. They beat Monument Valley, beat Whitehorse, took down Dolores, Colorado, and beat Gunnison Valley 28-8. And then a blip, a slump, a streak of tough matchups and 3 straight losses, 56-0, 62-0, and 50-0 against Millard, Duchesne, and North Summit. But then last week, Monticello bounced back, earned a win in overtime, hosting Layton Christian Academy. 27-20 was the final in that game, and that's what brings Monticello to a 5-3 record coming into this game. Now, the Buckaroos the last few years have struggled a bit until last year. They went 5-6 and won their first playoff game in a number of years. They had gone 2-9, 3-7, 4-7 in previous years before that, and have lost a few times against Rich in the playoffs recently, most recently in 2005 in the quarterfinals, also in 2014 in the semifinals. But the Buckaroos have won against Rich twice in a row, including, well, the 2 times last year that these teams met. Rich at Monticello on September 7th had a close game. Rebels' Jared Anderson finished with 135 passing yards and 27 rushing yards, but Rich just couldn't find consistency offensively and ended up losing in a close one, 13-7. And then had hopes going into the end of the season when they hosted Monticello in the first round of the state playoffs. Rebels had hopes of being able to compete and win that game, but it was a different contest. And I talked with Coach Reed Anderson of Monticello, and you'll hear from him in a bit. He said that was one of probably their most perfect game offensively since he's been coaching. And Coach Anderson comes into this one in his second year. This is his 20th game under coaching the Monticello Buckaroos. So out of 19 prior games, the best offensively they've played was that game against Rich here just under a year ago. It was October 26th. And in that game, senior Mark Bay had 216 passing yards on 25 of 36, plus Weston Nebaker, who finished the season with, I think, more than 1,400 rushing yards, ran for 186 and 4 touchdowns against the Rebels in a 41-0 victory. So that was the last time these teams met. It was on this same field just under a year ago, and Monticello went away with the big victory. They then went on to get blown out in the semifinals against Milford last year. That was at Payson High School. Now let's jump a little bit more into this matchup and kind of how these teams have fared so far this season. And again, this is the J-Bar Excavation scene set. And if you're watching online at mylocalradio.com, you see the graphic come up of against Duchesne, Duchesne, Gunnison, Layton Christian, and North Summit. So these are 2A North opponents, and how the Rebels and the Buckaroos have fared against each of those teams. You see similar losses against Duchesne and North Summit. Rebels fared better against those two teams, but against Gunnison Valley and Layton Christian Academy, where the Rebels lost by 10 points to Gunnison Valley and by 14 points against Layton Christian, Monticello beat those two teams. Again, Gunnison Valley 28-8, and in overtime last week over Layton Christian 27-20. Average things out, Monticello's averaging a loss in the 2A North opponents 35-14. Rebels averaging a 35-6 loss. I don't know how much stock you can put into any of those, and especially when you think about the blowout losses, Duchesne and North Summit, 62-0, 52-0. Don't look into that too much. A big blowout loss is a big blowout loss. Whether it's 10 points more or less probably doesn't mean anything in those types of games. So what it comes down to is the matchup between these two teams today. And Rich will be facing, it'll be a sophomore quarterback on each side. Riley Carrillo for Rich, Devin Hatch for Monticello. You may recognize the name Devin Hatch. His uncle is Russell Hatch. Cousin is Sydney Hatch and Kaylee Hatch of the Rich Rebel volleyball team. They're at Tabiona tonight. But Devin, I believe, the youngest son of Vernon Hatch, who's a Rich High School graduate. And he's had a good season so far. We'll tell you some more about his stats when we get closer to game time. But Hatch completing close to 50% of his passes. He's thrown for 13 touchdowns this season. And then Rebels will have to watch out for, in the passing game, Hatch's favorite target, a senior Carson King, 17 yards per catch, 5 touchdowns, almost 500 receiving yards. And Cedar English, 13 receptions, not a big number, but 360 yards, so he's averaging close to 30 yards per catch and has 6 touchdowns. Rich will have to be aware of those two guys. This Monticello Buckaroos team likes to throw the ball. In fact, they've thrown the ball a fair amount, almost, actually, just a little bit more than they've run the football. 203 rushing plays this season, 214 passing plays this season. So Rich secondary better be ready to go today. Now, if the JV game is any indication, it might be a good day for Rich. The Rebels, in half of a JV game, the Rebels intercepted the Monticello quarterback 5 times, and returned 2 of those for touchdowns. We'll see if the Rich varsity can even get half of that. They'd probably be in pretty good shape today. Again, Monticello has won this matchup the last 2 times these teams have met. Rebels had won 8 in a row prior to that. We'll get more in depth on the Lake Town Ledger a little bit later on in our pregame show. This has been your scene set, brought to you by J-Bar Excavation, the team, the tools, and the experience for your excavation project. We're moving along in the Town of Randolph pregame show, and we'll be right back with our Mound Valley Cattle Company Where Are They Now interview. Misty Grohl, a 2002 graduate of Rich High School. That's when we return on The Wildlife and mylocalradio.com. Every excavation project requires the professionals, the equipment, and the strategy to get the job done right. J-Bar Excavation in Randolph, Utah has the team, the tools, and the plan to execute every phase of your project to create exactly what you're looking for. They have the machinery and the experience to provide quality work that fits your schedule and your budget. Call them today, 435-793-5855. J-Bar Excavation, 90 North Main, Randolph. The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper. Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show. Today, the Rebels face off against the Monticello Buckaroos. It's the regular season finale, and the Buckaroos have made the long trip up, stayed the last night in Provo. Rich and Monticello have met in each of the last years, at least once, a few times in the quarterfinals and semifinals, and the Buckaroos have won 2 straight in this series. We're about 35 minutes away from our opening kickoff, and it's time to catch up with Rebel alum Misty Grohl, who graduated from Rich High School in 2002. This portion of the Rolene Kennedy pregame show is called Where Are They Now? It's brought to you by Mound Valley Cattle Company, Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. We'll be right back with Misty Grohl on this broadcast of Rich Rebel football on Rebel Radio and online at mylocal.
Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." Eddie and Todd Jensen, owners of Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho, are proud to support the Rich High Rebels in creating their own path and leaving a trail of success in athletics and in activities, in education and in life. Serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming since 1997. Mound Valley Cattle Company, 208-339-0614.
On the Mound Valley Cattle Company, where they now interview with Misty Ann Grohl, a 2002 graduate of Rich High School. Misty, thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Do most people, in high school, did they know you mostly as Misty Ann, or do you go by Misty?
Most of the time, they just knew me as Misty.
Gotcha. So tell me, since I brought up Rich High School, tell me about your days at Rich.
It was exciting. We pretty close, and we had a lot of fun, traveled a lot of sport. That was pretty much year-round.
So did you play volleyball and then basketball and then track and field?
Yeah. Yep, I did all three.
Any memories or particular games that stick out for you?
Probably the state tournaments were the biggest thing, especially volleyball. There's nothing quite like playing in a state tournament down there.
So was it Coach Ferguson when you played basketball?
Yeah, it was.
Is that back in the time when he had the handlebar mustache or the the Fu Manchu or whatever it was?
He had a little of everything when he coached me.
He had a lot of success. You were maybe a little before the state championships came in basketball, though, huh?
Yeah, we played. We always made it to the semifinal game, but we never actually made it into the last final game. We always got beat out the night before, unfortunately.
It wasn't that with volleyball, though. I know you guys won some state titles in there.
Yeah, we won. While I was there, I runner-up my freshman year. I played with the varsity a little bit, and then we took 3 titles after that.
That's just such an impressive. Everybody I talk to that's been at Rich High School, it's always, we won some volleyball state titles. Yep, that's how it goes.
Yeah. Yep, it was a lot of fun. Very memorable.
So I want to talk some more about days at Rich High School and any other activities you may have been involved in. But first, let's get into the name of the interview. Where are they now? Where are you now, Misty?
So I'm teaching in Logan right now. I teach 2nd grade at Ellis Elementary.
Did you, after you left Rich High School, kind of give me the story of how you, when you left and graduated and then how you ended up in Logan?
Yeah, so I had my associate's degree when I left Rich High School, and then I went on to Utah State. And I graduated with my bachelor's in elementary education and early childhood, and then started teaching that fall. I graduated in the spring, and that fall I started teaching at Ellis. And I started out in kindergarten, but now I teach 2nd grade.
And tell me, a lot of folks may already know this, but in the Grohl family, Grandpa and Grandma Grohl have how many kids, and where do you fit?
So there's 6 kids, and I'm the last of the 6 kids.
You're the youngest, the baby.
I'm the youngest. I'm the baby. Mm-hmm.
So let's go back then to Rich High School. And you talked about the sports. Did you do the musical?
No, I was not part of the musical. Did a little choir to fill the electives, but never did musical.
Any other student government or anything else you were involved with?
My junior year, I was part of the class presidency. I was the secretary, but other than that, no.
We're talking with Misty Ann Grohl. Misty Grohl, a 2002 graduate of Rich High School. And Misty, when you see, I don't know how much of a chance you get to do this, but seeing high school kids and kind of thinking back on your days at Rich High School, and was it much different then than it is now?
I think that some aspects are different, but a lot of it's still the same. I think they still try and be close and just enjoy each other. Small community, so you can't help but be that way. But, the classes are different probably a little bit now than when I was there.
You mentioned getting your associate's degree. I guess it had been going on for 8 or 10 years at that point?
I think the first class that graduated with it would have been maybe 5 years ahead of me. And there was just one person and then just 2 or 3 in each class since then. My class was the first class to have a big class graduate with associates, and I think we had 5 or 6 that graduated that year with it.
Tell me what kind of an advantage or how did that change what you did in the future and how your future went, I guess?
For me, it was great because the scholarship they had going with it then, so I not only had all of my general classes done when I went to school, but it paid for 3/4 of my college. for the next 2 years. So I didn't really have to worry much about tuition. I could mainly just do college and classes. So.
Man, that must have been nice. I know for me in college, worrying about tuition was I felt burned out by the time I got the 4 years done, just trying to pay for all that stuff.
Yeah, it was a pretty big expense, I think, for most people, and I saw that stress around me. But between working some weekend jobs here and there for my family and then summer jobs, I was able to pay for it all. So for me, it was really great. I could just do college and fun. So.
Misty, do you get back to Rich County frequently? You're not too far away. Come to see football games or anything?
Yeah, I still have a lot of family there and nieces and nephews that play, so I try and come support them as often as I can.
The Rebels this week take on the Monticello Buckaroos. I put you on the spot. Are you going to be able to come up for that one?
I actually probably will be able to make it for that one. I actually have fall break, so I'll be cheering from the sidelines.
Do you have any tips or keys of the game for Big Bro Justin, what his team needs to do to beat the Buckaroos?
I guess just have confidence and play with all they've got. When you leave it on the field, win or lose, you're always a winner. So.
That's good advice. Misty, is there anything else we should touch on?
Nope. Go Rebels.
Misty Ann Grohl, 2002 graduate of Rich High School. Thanks so much for your time and good luck with everything you have going on.
All right. Thank you.
Well, thanks so much, Misty, for joining us on Where Are They Now? Brought to you by Mound Valley Cattle Company, Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. When we return on the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show, we'll visit with each of the coaches of today's teams on the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. It's Rich Rebel Football on KADQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video online. We take your fun very seriously. That's why we put so much emphasis on training and experience with our mechanics at Cash Honda Yamaha. Whether you're getting it ready for an upcoming season, putting it away for the winter, having routine maintenance, or have a mechanical problem, we want to make sure that when you're ready to have fun with it, it's ready for you. Don't trust your fun to just anyone. Make sure you bring all your service work to Cash Honda Yamaha in Cache Valley. As one of the region's most visited websites, MyLocalRadio.com is here to serve you. Catch up on local and regional news and information. Buy, sell, or trade your good used items on the radio classifieds. Stream your favorite music all day, every day, or catch our live coverage of your high school teams in action, all on MyLocalRadio.com. Like us on Facebook so you never miss a giveaway, and visit MyLocalRadio.com today to stream it all live.
You're tuned in to Rich High Rebel Football on KADQ 98.3 and MyLocalRadio.com. This is Rebel Coach Justin Grohl on the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. Stay tuned in. Kickoff is just 20 minutes away here on KADQ.
Welcome to the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. The Rebels wrap up the regular season against the Monticello Buckaroos here at Rich High School today. Last year, the season ended for Rich High against the Monticello Buckaroos here at Rich High School in the quarterfinal round of the state playoffs. Monticello won that game 41-0. The Rebels will look to make it a little bit different here today on Senior Day. No one sees the game the way the coaches do, so we'll take a few minutes to visit with opposing coach Reed Anderson, and then we'll talk to Rebel head man Justin Grohl and find out his thoughts on today's game. We'll be back after this from Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. This is a broadcast of Rich Rebel Football and the Wildlife with live streaming video at MyLocalRadio.com.
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and for the third year in a row, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 100 for quality as well as best practices and critical access, with a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. So, when it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
At Ellingford Brothers, we're known for an excellent steel shop and quality cement. We also provide other products all year round. Sand and different sizes of gravel for road base and landscaping in the summer and fall. Traction in the winter and mud control in the spring. Bark for landscaping in the summer and winterization in the fall. And topsoil. Spring, summer, and fall. Prices are always honest. Pickup or delivery. Ellingford Brothers, your year-round source for so many things. Stop in today at 221 County Road in Evanston.
With Reed Anderson, head coach of the Monticello Buckaroos. Coach, I appreciate your time today.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
You guys get half a JV game in today, so that'll be good for the younger boys. But let's talk about varsity. Your season so far, 5-3. You won your first 4 and then a little 3-game skid. Tell me about that.
I don't know if you'd call it a little 3-game skid. It was a little rough there for 3 games, but you had Millard, Duchesne, and North Summit. And in those first 2, they were obviously really tough. You guys have played, one of them, and the other one obviously is a really good team in the other region. North Summit game was a big surprise for us. We didn't come ready to go, and special teams really killed us. But, the kids gritted it back and managed to get that overtime win, which, was a little surprising to us. It's probably the first overtime game I've been a part of in 4 or 5 years. So that was good to help us get back on track.
So was it a change in competition with those first 4 games? So did you guys have some injuries? You know what I mean? The 3-game skid, were there some injuries? Was it just better competition? Did you not play well for a couple weeks? What was it?
Part of it was the competition. Obviously, Millard was a big jump in competition from those first 4 games. And then in that game against Millard, we had 4 starters go down. So then for the next week at Duchesne, we were rolling in kids. At one point I looked out across the field and 9 out of the 11 were first-year players. Even if they were older kids, they just hadn't played since they were in 7th grade or something. And then, we had that bye week, and I really think that we got healthy for North Summit, but we just didn't come ready to go at all.
With region standings, it doesn't mean a whole lot. What we're looking at is RPI, and we can't look at it right now. But where do you feel like you're sitting as far as your season has gone and looking ahead to after today?
So I think we're probably sitting in that 8 to 10 range, somewhere in there. Hopefully, we hope to have a home playoff game. That's what you're gunning for. But it's looking like we'll be in that 9 or 10 spot, which isn't bad for us, judging by what we've done so far, looking at our body of work. But it's been an adjustment for sure with that system and the region standings and how they work.
Coach, your quarterback, a sophomore kid, son of a Rich High graduate. I know we got some of his cousins will probably be watching the game today from Rich High. And tell me about Devin, though, as a sophomore quarterback.
Devin was interesting. He came in last year. We had Mark Bay as a senior, and we didn't have anybody else as a quarterback. And as a coach, you're always planning what happens if the quarterback goes down. So, Devin came in. I said, okay, you're smart enough. Let's learn this position. And we started teaching a junior and senior the position. But about 4 weeks into the year, his freshman year, he was just fine. And I realized we'd be okay. And this year, as a sophomore, he's made a lot of sophomore mistakes, but he's also had times where he's played above his ability or his youngness, I guess, his youth. And he's been a solid guy. Hopefully we can keep him healthy and keep him in Monticello for the next couple of years. And I think he'll have a pretty good mastery of this offense and turn out to be a really, really great player.
Coach, last year you played Rich twice, beat him in a close game at your place, and then beat him pretty good here in the first round of the playoffs. I think that was the first win for Monticello in the playoffs in a few years. But what was the difference did you see between those 2 games last year?
I think the biggest thing was offensively. They were learning a new offense that first game, and we made a lot of mistakes. And to be frank, we've talked about this as the staff over the course of this season and over the off season. That was probably our most perfect offensive game we played last year. Was that first round of the playoffs, which obviously contributes to a big thing. If you're perfect on offense, then it's going to make a big deal.
What about Rich this year and preparing for them? Anything that you've specifically focused on as you get ready for this last game of the regular season?
Of all the teams that we ever play, Rich is always the scariest team. You know that you're going to get those kids that play really hard. You know that no matter what their record is or what the score is, they're going to play hard. I mean, you just think back to Rich's last game last year, and Altamont was supposed to crush them. And you squeak out a win. And so we've been trying to get our players all week. You cannot overlook these guys. They will steal one right out from under you because they do it every year. And so that's kind of the scariest thing, is trying to keep ourselves from not overlooking a team that maybe people say we're supposed to beat, but we all know is actually a pretty good team.
Coach, is there anything else you want to touch on?
No, we're just excited. It's good weather here again.
We got lucky, late October, and it's not snowing, so the wind and fairly warm temperatures. Reed Anderson, thanks so much for your time. Good luck today with Rich.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Coach Anderson. We're only about 15 minutes away from kickoff and today's ball game. You're tuned in to the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. Coming up next on the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show, we'll visit with Rebel head coach Justin Grohl. This is Rich Rebel Football on Rebel Radio and online at mylocalradio.com.
Meet the service and parts department staff at Auto Farm Chevrolet. We work on almost every type of vehicle, foreign and domestic. We also sell parts and accessories for almost all makes and models. Our staff is friendly and well-trained, and we are here to serve you. Open Monday through Friday beginning at 7:30 a.m., we invite you to Auto Farm Chevrolet for all your parts and for all your service needs. 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a community-driven dealer.
Business cards are a powerful and inexpensive way to promote the goods and services you offer. You can design your own cards or have the professionals at Westar Printing design your business cards. Now with same day and next day turnaround on all business card printing, you don't have to wait. Get your business cards today. Professional quality, inexpensive prices, and quick turnaround. Visit Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston, across from the library. Westar Printing, 307-789-5202.
Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show. We're in the middle of the Coaches Show, brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. The Buckaroos won their first 4 games of the season, then lost 3 in a row, and then won last week in overtime against Layton Christian. Rebels come in at 0-7, hoping for their first victory of the season. Stay tuned. We'll be right back to hear from Rebel head coach Justin Grohl and get his thoughts on how the Rebels can beat the Buckaroos today at Rich High School. That's right after this on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and for the 3rd year in a row, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 100 for quality as well as best practices and critical access, with a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. So, when it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
When you enter the city limits of the town of Woodruff, the sign welcomes you to a place with the coldest temps and the warmest hearts. Settled in 1870, we celebrate the values of kindness, compassion, and friendliness, knowing a community's greatness may best be measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Mayor Scott Sabie and council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson with Secretary Lisa Bell welcome you and say,
Go Rich Rebels!
With Justin Grohl, head coach of the Rich Rebel football team, the loss at Duchesne, probably something you'll look at, try to learn from, and then try to forget.
Yeah, we've already moved on. There's sometimes that look at it really fast just to see a few things, but there's not a lot you're going to benefit from there. So we have to move on and look at focus on this week and try to get ready for a new opponent.
Did you see some positives? Were there some things you looked at and said, well, we did that well, let's build on that?
You know, there was a few here and there. A few kids did some really good things. They just exploited lots and lots of gaps that we had, and they did a good job at exploiting those people that are kind of a little less ready than others, and you kind of try to hide. At least in these smaller schools, we have to hide someone once in a while, and they did a good job of finding them and knowing exactly where they were at and running right at them. So,
where are your guys right now? I guess mentally, right? 0-7, and you just got blown out by Duchesne, and how do you bounce back for senior night with Monticello, a chance to win? But even if you win, you probably won't move up in the RPI. You know what I mean? There's a lot of factors here. Where are your guys on a psychological level?
You know, I think that this week they're ready. I've talked to a lot of them, and they're pretty focused this week. They do feel really good about this game. You know, they believe that they can get a win, and you know, that's not always been the case. I mean, like going in to last week, I don't think that they felt like they could even compete, and so it's a different mentality this week. They're at least able to say, you know what, we can come out and we can compete and we can get a win here if we will.
On a strictly looking at a scores basis, you competed better with Duchesne and North Summit than they did, but Monticello beat Layton Christian and Gunnison Valley. So comparing scores never gets you very far, but it does give you an idea that you're about on the same level as Monticello?
Yeah. I think looking back on it, we did some stupid things during those two of Layton Christian and Gunnison.
we were right in it. In fact, there's a lot of times we had the lead and everything and going in, and we just kind of let our guard down. That's what we can't do this week. I feel really confident we can go in and we can score and we can move the ball. It's just we can't get up and say, okay, they're done, and let them come rolling back. And that's what we got to really worry about this week.
There are some things about having a young team. That's one of them, right? Learning that psychological toughness through the full 4 quarters.
Yeah, that mentally we've got to get better. I mean, mental toughness is a big key to any sports, and we're not there yet. Even throughout from the seniors down, we're not as mentally tough as we should have been.
So that's something the team has to – you learn that by experience, right? Let's turn to Monticello, your opponent this week, the Buckaroos. What do you know about them? What do they do well?
They are a very great passing team. The receivers will catch it. They'll go get it. He throws a good ball. They love the slants. We got to be able to cover the slants and force them to do things that they don't want to do, make them scramble a little bit and do that kind of stuff. If we don't take away the slants, they'll just move it right down the field, I think.
Do you feel like your DBs, your secondary, will match up well with that, with what Monticello wants to do?
We've always done pretty good. There's going to be some techniques that we're going to look at and work on, so that we'll give them a little bit different look than a few other people have given them, and we'll try to maybe confuse the quarterback a little bit and give him stuff to look and think about, and hopefully he'll make a few mistakes in, and that's what we're going to try.
Anything else you want to touch on, Coach?
I think we're just excited to play this week and give a good shot at getting a win this week at our final home game. So thank you.
Justin Grohl, the Rich Rebels, thanks so much for your time. Good luck with Monticello Thursday.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Coach. This has been the Coaches Show, brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. We're down to crunch time as this thing kicks off in less than 10 minutes. You're tuned in to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show of Rich Rebel football, final regular season game of 2019. When we return, we'll have the Lake Town Ledger, Town & Country Realty Green Scene, and the Epic Recreation keys of the game right after this on KADQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video online.
If you want your truck to really catch the eye, have the professionals at Plains Tire in Evanston install a custom lift kit with new tires and wheels. We've got a huge selection to choose from, so no matter what your style is, we've got the tires and wheels to make you smile. The way your truck looks reflects on you. Get the reflection you want with a lift kit, new tires, and wheels from Plains Tire in Evanston, the tire professionals. 157 Bear River Drive. Stop in today.
When do you schedule doctor appointments?
In bed before I fall asleep.
In the car waiting to pick up my kids.
We can even do it after breakfast.
We all lead busy lives. Online appointment scheduling puts you in control. In just 90 seconds, you can make an appointment with a primary care provider or specialist at evanstonanytime.com. Select the day and time most convenient for you. Enter some basic information, and just like that, you're scheduled for care. Schedule appointments for next day and beyond at evanstonanytime.com.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on MyLocalRadio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports Boosters, LSR Refrigerated, and the Walletines in Garden City. Darren, Tricia, and the entire Walletine clan wish the Rebels good luck. And by CAD Answer Technical Services, proudly supporting the Rich Rebels. The staff at CAD Answer Technical Services wish the Rebels good luck on the field, on the court, in the classroom, and in life.
Go Rich Rebels!
Welcome back to Rich High School and Rebel football on KDQ and MyLocalRadio.com. Ryan STEINECKERT here with Rob Layson running camera. The Rebel volleyball team on the road at Taviona tonight. And then they'll close out the regular season next Thursday, hosting the North Summit Braves. And Coach Lamborn wants to make sure that you know that you're invited to come out and support the first ever Swing for Life game. Rebels doing the pink out, or the pink game, with silent auction and raffle, and all proceeds go to breast cancer research. They invite you to wear pink, and if you need a pink shirt, I know, Rob, you've got a lot of pink shirts in the closet, so you won't need this, but Shelly Staple, the cheer team, has some pink shirts for sale. You can contact Shelly Staple at 801-244-2598 or Shea Pace at 435-757-0060 if you're interested in picking up a pink shirt and wearing pink. Next Thursday night, October 24th at Rich High School, and not only that, it's going to be a good match. The Rebels hosting the Braves from North Summit, so That's next Thursday. Tonight, Rebel football at Rich High School. It's senior day as the Rebels host the Monticello Buckaroos. These teams have met 31 times over the past almost 40 years, I guess. No, almost 30 years, since 1991. Rebels won the first matchup in this series. This is the Laketown Ledger, brought to you by the town of Laketown. Good luck, Rebels, from the mayor and town council of Laketown. And the Rebels in this matchup in this series have at times dominated, at times not so much, but won 8 in a row from 2013 to 2017, and I think 13 out of 14 or 14 out of 15, somewhere in that ballpark, between 2006 through 2017. And again, lead in the series, 18 wins, 13 losses. But Monticello's won the last 2. They swept the Rebels last year at Monticello 13-7 early in the season, and then here in the quarterfinals almost 1 year ago, 41-0. Monticello beat Rich. Again, that was just under a year ago. But the Rebels prior to that had won 8 in a row, including a couple of times in the quarterfinals and semifinals as well. That's your Laketown Ledger, brought to you by the town of Laketown. Good luck, Rebels, from the mayor and town council of Laketown. Let's jump into your green scene, brought to you by Town and Country Realty. Pam Cornea selling Bear Lake in Utah and Idaho, 435-779-0012. That's Pam Cornea, 435-779-0012 for Town and Country Realty. The temperature is 62 degrees, but there's a cold wind, and it's not a breeze. It's a wind coming in from the west, and it blowing across the field from sideline to sideline. That may play a factor in today's game. A good contingent of crowd of fans over from Monticello, including some grandpas and grandmas that still live here in Rich County, but supporting Devin Hatch, the quarterback for the Monticello Buckaroos. Rebel fans down here to our left, got a lot of camping chairs and a good group of Rebel fans, and a lot of jackets and coats, considering it's 62 degrees, but feels much cooler than that. I think feels like is down in the low 50s currently. That's your green scene, brought to you by Town and Country Realty, selling Bear Lake in Utah and Idaho. Give Pam Cornea a call today, 435-779-0012. As the captains head to midfield for the coin toss, let's jump into your Epic Recreation keys of the game. Epic Recreation for all your rentals in the Bear Lake area, whether it's down on the lake in the summer or up in the mountains, summer or winter. Visit epicrecreation.net or find them on Facebook. They've got all the rentals that you'll need for all your fun at Bear Lake. Vacation or just a quick trip up there, whatever it may be. epicrecreation.net. Let me move away from that Epic Recreation graphic for a moment so you can see who wins the coin toss, but I'll go ahead with the keys of the game. Number 1 is run, Rebels, run. The Rebels have eclipsed the century mark for rushing yards in a game just once this season. Now, it's no coincidence that was the Rebels' closest game this season. It should also come as no surprise that last year's closest games, including the 2 victories, were the Rebels' better rushing games of the season. Consistent success in the running game carries many benefits, not least of which is keeping the ball away from the opposition, which obviously limits their opportunities to score. This one's cut and dry. If Rich can't move the football, Monticello wins. For the home team to come out on top today, they need to run, Rebels, run. Number 2, Epic Recreation key of the game as we get the result of the coin toss. Monticello will receive. Let's jump back to that graphic for Epic Recreation keys of the game. Number 2 is win the turnover battle. Through the 7 games this season, the Rebels have given the ball away 22 times while forcing just 6 turnovers. In the 5 blowout losses, Rich sits at a -14 in turnover differential and has lost by an average of more than 40 points. In their closest games, that's Gunnison Valley and Layton Christian, the turnover differential is also much closer, a -2. The last 3 weeks have been especially poignant. Rich has 14 giveaways and 1 takeaway, and the result, 3 losses, and they've been outscored by a combined 131-6. So this one is simple. Don't give the other team extra opportunities to score, and give yourself a few extra chances. Rich has to win the turnover battle. Epic Recreation key of the game, number 3, will come up in just a moment. So we're going to take a pause for station identification and the national anthem. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with one more Epic Recreation keys of the game, your starters, and the Bear Lake Physical Therapy Kickoff.
This is Rich Rebel Senior, Bridger Weston, and you're watching Rich High School football on Rebel Radio and mylocalradio.com.
Early Oregon-bound immigrants traveled through the Bear Lake Valley. U.S. Highway 30 basically follows the Oregon Trail. Many wagon trains stopped at Thomas L. Pegleg Smith Trading Post, located near Dingle, Idaho, for supplies. One traveler wrote of camping along Cotton Line Bear River, watching grass as tall as a man wave in the wind. Today, you don't have to ride in a wagon to visit Bear Lake Valley, but the rich history is still here to enjoy. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
In Rich County, we know that our children are our future. Helping our kids grow into kind, productive adults is a community effort. This is Rolene Kennedy, Auto Farm Chevrolet's Rich County representative, serving my neighbors for more than 20 years. My kids are Rich High School graduates. When you need a vehicle, come and see me, new or pre-owned. I'll always treat you with respect and honesty, the Rich County way. Auto Farm Chevrolet, we're a community-driven dealer. Go Rebels!
Gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Nice job.
Gage Peterson, a Rebel junior. Is he a junior? Junior. Gage Peterson with the national anthem there. Nicely done here at Rich High School for the final home game of the season. Jumping back into your final epic recreation key of the game, leave it all on the field. To quote Led Zeppelin, leaves are falling all around. And with the season winding down, Rich will be on the road next week for the play-in round of the 2A playoffs. Coach Justin Grohl began this past Monday's film session telling his team to give it something they have, give it everything they have this week. Now for the seniors, this is the last time they'll play on their home field. Coach's little sister Misty was our guest on today's Mound Valley Cattle Company, Where Are They Now? And she said similar sentiments. She said that to hang with Monticello today, the Rebels have got to, John, move the cookies. They've got to play well. They've got to leave it all on the field. Misty said that if you win or lose, if you leave it all on the field, you're a winner. So those are your keys of the game, brought to you by Epic Recreation. Visit epicrecreation.net or find them on Facebook. Just about to get underway here, and we'll have your starting lineups between plays as we get things going here at Rich High School. All right, Rebels will kick off. It's a Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff. We went through your Town and Country Realty Green Scene, Town of Laketown Ledger, and the Epic Recreation keys of the game. And we thank you for tuning in to our pregame show presented by Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Austin Peterson out onto the field, set for this kickoff. Brought to you by Bear Lake Physical Therapy, helping Rebels get back in the game since 1998. The whistle, and Rich with the onside kick attempt. Adams punches it, and it bounces high right into the hands of Hiram Johnson, the senior, with the onside kick recovery. And so Monticello will get excellent field position. They brought him down right away, but that was still right at midfield. So Monticello takes over at the Rich 48-yard line. 1st and 10, Buckaroos. Buckaroos starting offense. Up front linemen are Joseph Boyle, a junior, senior Eldine Lammert, and center is Tough Adair, a junior. Hatch fakes the handoff, tries to run right, and slicing in to bring him down in the open field. Flint Silva with the tackle back at the 49, a loss of 3 to the Monticello 49-yard line. So Hatch, who comes into the game 46 carries minus 118 yards, most of those because of sacks, brings up a 2nd down and 13. Hatch throws over the middle, and the Rebels pick it off. Jaden Rao, he fumbled it. It bounced right back into his hands, and he picks it back up and is brought down at the Monticello 46-yard line. The rest of the Monticello starters on the front line were Dylan Slack, Carson Wells. Wide receivers are Dylan Bird, Cedar English, Carson King, and Zach Cecil. Quarterback Devin Hatch, and Brevin Olson is the running back. So Rich with the interception. They were practicing and looking at film and preparing for just that type of thing all week long. Rich with a first down and 10 at the Monticello 46. Carrillo takes the snap, options right, tucks it, cuts up field inside the 40, tripped up and brought down about the 38-yard line. A nice gain for Riley Carrillo. So Carrillo picks up a few on first down. If you don't count sacks that Carrillo has been brought down on, he's averaging 3.5, 4 yards per carry. All the way to the 38. That's an 8-yard gain for Riley on first down. He's a big, strong runner. Give you the Rebels starting offense in a moment. Carrillo with an I formation, takes the snap. Ball is on the turf, and Monticello takes it right back. I failed to mention a moment ago that interception was brought to you by Garden City, where families play, but the Rebels just give it right back. And Musselman with the recovery is what I'm hearing. And Monticello takes over at its own 38. First and 10. First quarter brought to you by Crawford Trough in Randolph. No score on the station on main scoreboard. Hatch gives left side and not much room to run, but out to the 41-yard line on a short gain for Brevin Olson. Olson picks up 3. This Monticello offense, they're running no huddle, trying to move things along to the 41. I might have to get starters in later on. Hatch rolls to his right, throws. He's got his man caught with King, and he makes a man miss out to the 50. Got a first down, a little bit more before the Rebels hit him out of bounds. That is Hatch's favorite target. Carson King, the senior, came in with almost 500 receiving yards in the game and makes that catch for a 9-yard reception. First down and 10. Buckaroos at midfield. Hatch takes the snap, fakes to Olson, lobs it up over the middle. High throw and caught. Leaping up to make the catch, Dylan Bird, showing some nice hands. And Hatch made a nice throw there to keep it to where only his guy could get it, and Bird had to go up high to get it to the Rebel 37-yard line, 13 yards. And another first down. Buckaroos moving the chains in Rebel territory at the 37. No score on the station in main scoreboard. First quarter, couple of minutes gone by. Hatch back to throw. Pressure comes. He escapes, but he can't get away from the second tier of defenders. And Bridger Weston makes the tackle and brings Hatch down in the backfield at the 43. A loss of 6 on the play. Brings up a second down and about 15, 16 yards to go. Rebel starting defense up front. Riley Taylor, a junior, Jaden Rao, a junior, senior Bridger Weston, and junior Logan Muirbrook. Hatch takes the snap, gives to Brevin Olson. Tons of penetration in the backfield. Stetson Huffaker somehow, he was flying by, which forced Hatch to hand off to Olson, and then reached back and grabbed Olson, held on to him, and pulled him down at the 45-yard line. A loss of 2. Huffaker with the tackle. And that brings up a third down and 18 for the Monticello offense at the Rebel 45. No score. A lot of pressure coming up the middle. Huffaker. Hatch throws deep down the middle of the field. He's got his man. Caught at the 5. Hit immediately and brought down. Jaden Grohl couldn't keep up with Carson King on the reception all the way down. They'll spot it at about the 3. A 42-yard pass and catch for the Monticello Buckaroos to move the chains. Brevin Olson behind, Hatch under center, takes the snap left side. Olson, big hole on the left side, pushes and drives his feet. He's in. Touchdown, Buckaroos. A 3-yard touchdown run for Brevin Olson, his 5th touchdown of the season. He came into the game averaging 5 yards per carry on 116 rushes. Rebels, the rest of the defense, linebackers are Stetson Huffaker, Colton Hislop, Corgan Conk, and Kyler Wilson. Cornerbacks, Jaden Grohl, Connor Greer, and safety is Flint Silva. So Monticello on the board first. Kick the extra point up and through. In the Crawford Trough first quarter, 7-0, 8:30 left to go on the station on main scoreboard, and we'll be right back.
This is Rich Rebel Senior, Bridger Weston, and you are watching Rich High School football on Rebel Radio and mylocalradio.com.
What could be better than a fresh, mouth-watering burger from the Crawford Trough in Randolph? Top it with cheese and thick-cut bacon, or throw in some mushrooms and make it a double. Now we're talking. Add home-cut fries and a creamy shake, and you might just think you're in paradise. With crisp salads and tasty wraps, plus onion rings, perfectly cooked chicken, cold drinks, and silky smooth ice cream, the Crawford Trough is the place to eat and drink at 120 South Main in Randolph. Seven plays, 62 yards on that drive, 63 yards through the air for Devin Hatch, and 51 of those on 2 catches to Carson King. The big one was on third down, a long lob that hung up there for what felt like an eternity. Monticello trying the onside kick, and Huffaker falls on it for the Rebels at the 36-yard line. That's where Rich will take over 1st and 10. So Rich, on Monticello's second play from scrimmage, the Rebels intercepted a pass. It was Jaden Rao. But then the Rebels, on their second play from scrimmage, fumbled it right back to the Buckaroos, and Monticello takes advantage with that 62-yard drive. First quarter still 8:28. That was a quick, about 2-minute time of possession for the Buckaroos. We'll call it 2:05. Rich from its own 36. 1st and 10. Carrillo under center, one man behind him, to the right side, 2 to the left. Riley rolls to his right, looking to throw. He's got Grohl downfield, throws it down the left sideline. Grohl had cut the route off, and Carrillo was looking for him to keep on going. If Grohl kept going, Carrillo's got the arm strength to find him downfield, but it falls incomplete. That's one of Riley Carrillo's strengths, is definitely his arm strength, and he can really gun it, even on the move like that. You saw him fling it 20 yards without a ton of effort and being hit as he threw. 2nd down and 10 for the Rebels at their own 36. Ball on the left hash. Again, 2 wide left, 2 wide right. Wilson in motion from left to right, and they give right up the gut. Hislop carries a man or two up to the 40. Strong run for Colton Hislop, who had his best rushing game as a Rebel last week. 8 carries, 60 yards at Duchesne. And Hislop picks up 4 on that carry. Colton came in 44 carries, 67 yards, but if you take away bad snaps that he recovered deep in the backfield, he's actually at 38 carries, 141 yards this season. Carrillo under center, 3rd down and 6. Rebel offense in the middle of the field, their own 40. Carrillo takes the snap, pulls on the option. He's got the 1st down and just a little bit more. He rolled to his right, and that play, not to give secrets away, but that's actually a run-pass option where Carrillo reads the linebacker to see where he should go, if he should pull the handoff to the fullback or keep it himself and run. To the 49-yard line, a 9-yard run for Carrillo. 1st and 10, the 1st down brought to you by Comprehensive Family Dental. Dr. Sean Grohl, quality family dentistry since 1997. Hislop behind Carrillo under center, takes the snap and gives immediately to Hislop. Not much room, but Colton pushes forward across midfield to the Monticello 49-yard line, and a 2-yard gain. Cecil on the tackle for Monticello. Leading the Buckaroos are 7-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. They put together a 7-play, 62-yard drive, and Brevin Olson ran it in for the touchdown from 3 yards out. So Buckaroos lead 7-0. 6:52 left in the Crawford Trough in Randolph first quarter. Rebels looking to put a drive together and score a pro physical therapy touchdown here and tie things up. Carrillo under center with 2 receivers right, 2 left. Wilson in motion. Riley takes the snap, rolls to his right, throws back to his left, and he had Hislop if the throw wasn't overthrown, but it was. Some defenders there as well. Carrillo throws it over the top and incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and 8. Riley completing 46% of his passes coming into this one, 74 pass attempts, and Rich may need to pass here. We'll see if they do they're one of those run-pass options. Those have been successful so far today. The JV played a half of a game, and the Rebels won 40-0 in that game. 5 interceptions by the Rebel defense. Carrillo in the shotgun, trips to his right, one man on his right hip, takes the snap, and gives up the gut. Hislop had initially a nice big Saby Trucking offensive line hole, but then he stopped at the 48 and stood up there. Can't drive any further or break the tackle. So a 1-yard run for Colton Hislop. And Rich faces a 4th down and 7 at the Monticello 48-yard line in what's likely a punting situation. But Monticello leads 7-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. 6 minutes left. We're midway through this first quarter, brought to you by the Crawford Trough in Randolph, open after every Rebel home game. The place to eat and drink. Good snap. Huffaker fields it, and he's run into not a ton of contact, and they don't throw a flag. Huffaker's punt, a beauty, bounces at the 5 and takes a Rebel bounce, but into the end zone for the touchback. So Monticello will get it 1st and 10 from its own 20-yard line. 5:51 left in this first quarter. Brought to you by the Crawford Trough in Randolph. The Rebels have run 5 plays. They fumbled it once and couldn't get much else going. A couple incompletions for Carrillo passing the ball. Monticello with a 1st and 10 from its own 20. Hatch in the shotgun. Loaded pistol with a man behind him. Quick throw out to the left side. Caught by Carson King, and he makes the catch out to the 25-yard line. Rebels wrap him up, and a band of Rebels stop him there. Only 2 Rebels not in on the tackle, or at least in the group of tacklers. So Carson King makes his 3rd reception of the day. This out to the 26-yard line. 6-yard gain. Second and 4. Trips right. They're in a little bunch. Quick throw out to that right side. King again. Huffaker gets blocked. Looked like in the back. He fights through it, comes back and helps make the tackle after Flint Silva had got through and wrapped up Carson King. Buckaroos out to the 31. Nope, the 32 is where they'll spot it. So 6 more yards. Puts Carson King at 4 receptions, 63 yards already in this game. Came in with 29 receptions for almost 500 yards. 1st down for the Buckaroos. 2 receivers left. King motions out to the right side. Hatch back, throws over the middle. He's hit as he threw. And Logan Muirbrook with the big hit. He nailed Devin Hatch. Muirbrook, a junior. Hatch, the sophomore. And big hit there. The ball flung out and falls incomplete at the feet of the Monticello lineman. 2nd down and 10 after the incompletion. Handoff to Olsen. Brevin breaks a tackle, breaks another across the 35. Then 3 or 4 Rebels wrap him up and stop his progress at the 44-yard line. So Olsen with a strong run. I said the 44, that's the 39. A 7-yard gain for Brevin Olsen. A 3rd and short, 3rd and 3. Offset I formation. Hatch turns, gives to Olsen. Left side, he's wrapped up and just ripped down to the ground. No gain. Colton Hislop on the tackle. And that was like a wrestler bringing him back onto his own back. And just, if Colton's on the wrestling mat, he pulls him through and then gets on top. But this time he just brought him down. Offset I for a 4th down and 3 after no gain. Hatch, hard count, and the Rebels move. Doggone it. That's exactly what the Buckaroos were hoping to get, and they got it. No gain on that last play, but then the encroachment, the offside, gives Monticello a fresh set of downs at their own 44-yard line. 4:03 left in the Crawford Trough in Randolph first quarter. 7-0. Monticello leads on the Station on Main scoreboard. Trips to the left side, 1-man wide right. Hatch in the shotgun with Olsen on his right hip. Takes the snap, gives to Olsen, dodges one tackler, gets away from another, and can't get past that. It looked like he lost a yard. I think they'll spot him back at the line of scrimmage at the 44. But Olsen running left had no room to go anywhere. His last 2 carries, 0 yards. After his first 4 went for 11 yards and a touchdown. 2nd and 10, Buckaroos. Trips again to the left and 1-man wide right. Connor Greer on an island out there. Cecil in motion, and Hatch takes the snap, throws out to his right side. Ball falls incomplete. That was lucky for Monticello because, boy, if that goes the other direction by about a foot, it's a fumble, and the Rebels can take it the other way. Riley Taylor slow to get up for Rich. We'll take a quick injury timeout and be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
No matter what you need to have printed, Westar Printing is the place you want to have it done. Calendars, letterhead, envelopes, brochures, books, posters, vinyl banners, business forms, announcements, wedding invitations, and business cards are just a few examples. You can also have your favorite family photos printed on canvas or placed into a personalized family photo calendar. You will want to do business with Westar Printing. Stop in today. Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston.
That is Riley Taylor. He's helped off the field, walks off mostly on his own power, but a couple of guys on each side, including Bear Lake Physical Therapy's Cam Jarman. Bear Lake Physical Therapy helping Rebels get back in the game since 1998. We'll see if Cam can help Riley get back in today. 2 receivers right, 2 out left on a 3rd and 10. Hatch moves, rolls to his right side, gets some blocking, throws on the sideline, incomplete. Toe in, and Dylan Bird trying to make the catch. He would have had a first down had he made the catch, but bobbled it, dropped it, and it falls incomplete. So Hatch started 5 of 6, 75 yards and 1 interception. His last 3 incomplete. Brings up a 4th down and 10, and the Buckaroos line up to punt it away. Cedar English, the junior, one of the second leading receiver on this team, back to punt this football away. Rebels with Silva and Wilson back deep to return on the punt. English, the south-footed punter, and Wilson fields it with a fair catch at the 20. So the Rebel defense does its job, and Rich will take over 1st and 10, a flag down, and that may be contact after Wilson had caught the ball. Monticello Buckaroos ran into him. They give Rich a little bit of extra yardage to start this drive. Wilson had caught it at the 22. 2:56 left first quarter, brought to you by the Crawford Trough in Randolph. 7-0. Buckaroos lead on the Station on Main scoreboard. And the call is, oh, wow, a personal foul. That did not look like that much contact, but I imagine the officials doing their job is if you run into that guy who makes the fair catch, you cannot touch him. So that's a 15-yard penalty and gives Rich 1st and 10 at its own 37-yard line. So that's an extra 15 yards closer to a pro physical therapy touchdown. 2 receivers right, 2 out left. Carrillo in the shotgun, or under center. Huffaker in motion. Riley takes the snap, pulls it, runs to his left. He's got some room, looks to throw. He's hit as he wound up to throw. They'll call it a fumble and give it to the Buckaroos, who recovered, or did the Rebels recover at the 42? Kyler Wilson somehow came away from that pile with the football, and Rich has 2nd down and actually gained a couple of yards on the play. More than a couple. They gained 5 out to the 42. I'm going to give Kyler Wilson a 5-yard run. Well, 3 yards. So they had started at the 39. So that's a 3-yard gain for the Rebel offense. Carrillo just took a little too long on that play to develop. He wanted to throw downfield, and his receiver was open if he could have gotten rid of it a little earlier. 2 receivers right, 2 out left, and again, Carrillo under center. Takes the snap, gives to Hislop up the gut, breaks a tackle or 2, but can't get away from the 3rd to the 45-yard line. And a nice little 3-yard gain will set up 3rd down and short. Rebels need 3 yards to pick up a comprehensive Family Dental first down. Just under 2 minutes left in the Crawford Trough in Randolph first quarter. 7-0, Monticello on top. Their first possession ended in an interception. They forced a fumble, got the ball back, and took advantage. A 6-7 play, 62-yard drive. Trips to the right side. Carrillo under center. Takes the snap, pitches. Hislop on the right. Cuts through a couple of tacklers. Gets the first down. Breaks another tackle. And more inside the 45 of Monticello before he's finally brought down. Hislop split 2 Monticello tacklers. What looked like they were going to sandwich him. And he just pushed right through the 2 of them to the 44-yard line of Monticello. A 5 + 6, 11-yard gain for Colton Hislop. And Colton's got 5 carries for 21 yards by my stats. 1:13 left in the Crawford Trophy in Randolph first quarter. 7-0 Monticello leads. Carrillo under center, takes the snap, runs the option. Big hole on the right side. He's down the right sideline to the 30, the 20, breaks a tackle at the 10. He's pushed out just before the end zone. He never got brought down, but he's all the way down to the 5-yard line. Riley Carrillo electrifies the crowd with a 39-yard run all the way down to the 5. Talk about a comprehensive family dental first down. Brought to you by Dr. Sean Grohl. Carrillo, 3 carries for 56 yards so far in this game. He's the leading rusher for either team. Stepped out of bounds. Clock continues to run with 45 seconds left in this first quarter. Brought to you by the Crawford Trough in Randolph. Trips to the left side. Carrillo under center with Hislop behind him. Jaden Grohl, the lone man on the right side. Ball on the right hash. 1st and goal for the Rebels. Carrillo pitches right side. Hislop looking outside, cuts back up the middle, gets down to the 1, and he's stopped there. Runs into a wall of Buckaroos, and I think they'll actually spot it at about the 2. No, they do spot it just outside the 1-yard line. So Hislop with 3 yards on the carry. 2nd down and goal, Rebels. Rich looking to tie things up with what they hope will be a pro physical therapy touchdown. Trips to the right side. Carrillo up the middle. He's got it in there. Touchdown. Connor Greer immediately celebrates. He knew his teammate got past that end zone line, and the Rebels are on the board. A 2-yard touchdown run. Riley Carrillo with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. His first came against Gunnison Valley a few weeks ago. And Rich puts together a nice drive. 6 plays to go 61 yards. Riley with the 2-yard touchdown run. Rebels, in the JV game, they did nothing but go for 2, and it looks like they're lined up to go for 2 here. Trips out to the right side to take the lead. That touchdown was brought to you by Pro Physical Therapy and physical therapist Dr. Dallas Clark. Carrillo in the shotgun, takes the snap, rolls right, throws to the end zone. Connor Greer goes up, and he can't hold on to it on the right sideline. In and out of his hands, incomplete. So Rich will settle for a 1-point deficit, 7-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Quick timeout as we come to the end of the first quarter. Brought to you by the Crawford Trough in Randolph. Open after every Rebel home game. The Crawford Trough is the place to eat and drink in Randolph.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Austin Peterson, and you're tuned in to Rich High School Football on KADQ and mylocalradio.com.
No matter what you need to have printed, Westar Printing is the place you want to have it done. Calendars, letterhead, envelopes, brochures, books, posters, vinyl banners, business forms, announcements, wedding invitations, and business cards are just a few examples. You can also have your favorite family photos printed on canvas or placed into a personalized family photo calendar. You will want to do business with Westar Printing. Stop in today. Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper. Right back to it, a Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff. Huffaker high and short, fielded at about the 16-yard line. Running to his left, Zach Cecil wrapped up and brought down at the 26. A short return, and Monticello takes over 1st and 10. We're seeing some emotion from this Rebel football team that we haven't seen since a few weeks ago when they hosted Layton Christian and had an early lead. A Rebel down, looks to be maybe just slow to get up. And Travis Gifford, who had 2 pick sixes in the JV game. The JV won in that half a football game, 40-0. The varsity trails 7-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Riley Taylor back in there. That's good to see. He went out earlier with an injury, but is back out on the field. There's Bear Lake Physical Therapy in action for you, getting Rebels back in the game since 1998. Hatch in the shotgun. One man behind him, 3 receivers in a bunch right side. Quick throw out to that right side. Cecil, one-handed catch, pulls it in, breaks 1 tackle at the 30 to the 35. Finally, a gang of Rebels wrap him up and shove him out of bounds. And Carson King with a nice reception and a big gain close to a first down. The line of scrimmage was the 26-yard line. Give him 9 yards on that reception. King already with 5 receptions for 72 yards to the 35-yard line. And an early movement by Cedar English. He tried to hold that movement back, but he just couldn't do it. This will be an illegal procedure, a false start. That's 20 yards in penalties against the Buckaroos and sets up, instead of a 2nd and 1, a 2nd down and about 1.5 6.5 or 7. Back to the 31-yard line. From the shotgun, Hatch rolls to his left, throws. He's got Cedar English. He threw as he was hit. English makes the catch, breaks a tackle on the sideline, picks up a first down across the 40, finally pushed out at about the 44. And Rich has got to find a better answer for Carson King. That is his 6th reception already of the day to the 44-yard line. That's 13 yards on that catch and pass. And Carson King, 6 receptions, 85 yards. Give to Brevin Olson, nowhere to go. Rebels stop him, brought him down back at the 40, but forward progress was stopped at about the 42. Be a loss of 2 yards for Brevin Olson, who has 7 carries for just 9 yards. 2nd down and 13. Rebels have bottled up the running game of the Buckaroos, but have been unable to stop the passing game. Hatch rolls to his right, gets some good blocking, throws deep down the field. Rebels have the best shot at it. Flint Silva was there right with Cedar English, but the pass just overthrown and incomplete. So a 3rd down coming up for the Buckaroos, 3rd and 13. From its own 42-yard line, Monticello, 3rd down and 13, leading 7-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. 10:30 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Big pressure coming up the middle. Hatch steps up, lobs, and he's got Cedar English at the 40. Kyler Wilson immediately wraps him up from behind and brings him down, but at the Rebel 35-yard line. What a toss by Devin Hatch, leading English perfectly. Wilson had decent, actually pretty good coverage, but just couldn't prevent that pass from getting into Cedar English all the way to the 35. That's a 23-yard pass and catch to Cedar English. 1st down and 10, Buckaroos. Bunched receivers right. Give to Brevin Olson, left side. Big room. No, that's not Olson. That was Zach Cecil on the carry, and he carries it all the way to the Rebel 20 for another 1st down for the Buckaroos. Zach Cecil with his 8th carry of the season, I should say. Rebels get a sideline warning, and the Buckaroos, spotted at the 20-yard line. So 15 yards for Zach Cecil, the senior, gives the Buckaroos a 1st down, and that much closer to pushing the lead further. 7-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Buckaroos converted their extra point. The Rebels did not. Rich went for 2 and failed. Ball on the left hash for the Buckaroos. Devin Hatch already with 117, make it 120 passing yards. From the shotgun, Hatch with 2 receivers right, 2 left. He looks to his left, a lot of pressure comes, throws over the middle. He's got Cedar English, but Colton Hislop saw it well, and it would look like a wide receiver screen. Hislop broke it up, didn't knock the pass down, but English picks up just 2 to bring up a 2nd down and 8 from the 18 of Rich. Trips to the right, bunched. Rebels with 2 defenders out there, 2 cornerbacks. Hatch takes the snap and throws. He's got his man. Again to the right side. King looking to dance. He gets around to the 10, to the 5, dives in, and he is in the end zone. I haven't seen an indication. There it is from the line judge on the far sideline. 18-yard touchdown. Puts the Buckaroos on top, make it 13-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. And you see those 3 bunched receivers out there, and with just 2 defenders, that's an easy call. Throw it out to one of those guys, And if two receivers do their job and block for just a second or two, that leaves the man open to head down the sideline for the touchdown. Cedar English with the extra point up and good. And the Buckaroos push out to a 14-6 lead on the Station on Main scoreboard. We'll be right back on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
When T7 Propane in Woodruff, Utah is your propane supplier, you get reliable, safe, and professional propane service. And that's not all. T7 Propane offers years of expertise, quality product, and the most responsive propane service in the area. For home or other heating needs, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for professional or business propane needs. Call 435-793-4208. That's 435-793-4208.
Devin Hatch already 10 of 15 for 140 yards and a touchdown. And Carson King with 7 receptions, 103 yards and a touchdown. And this Monticello offense, running the ball, they're not finding hardly any success, but passing the football, boy, a lot of space to throw. So Rich trails 14-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard, and the kickoff is short and low. Huffaker fields it at the 18, running to his right, looking for a hole to the 30, runs over a man to the 35, and finally driven out at the 40. Huffaker lowered the shoulder pads and ran right through a Monticello Buckaroo to give Rich some good field position at its own 40-yard line with 9:07 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. For all your propane needs, call 435-793-4208. That's T7 Propane in Woodruff. They do spot that right at the 40-yard line. Ball on the right hash. Huffaker on that return of about 22 yards. Rich with trips to the right side, one receiver left, and Hislop behind Huffaker. Monticello showing some pressure from up the middle. Carrillo runs right, gives left. Wilson makes a man miss. Left side, breaks a tackle. Flag flies as Wilson picks up the first down at midfield. And we'll see if this is my counterpart from Monticello said a horse collar tackle. It looks to me like it might have been thrown in the area of holding. We'll see what it was. 2 flags out. One from the line judge, one from the back official. And Rebels are backing up like it's a penalty against them. The official comes in and says illegal hands to the face, or is that a push in the back? Either way, it's against Rich. Block in the back. So from the spot of the foul, Wilson had picked up 10, but take those 10 yards away and spot it back at the 37. Rebels first down and 13 from their own 37. Carrillo with 2 receivers right, steps back, looking to throw, looks left, then throws right. He's got Huffaker, makes the catch, trying to break free from a tackle. He drags the Buckaroo, sacks Cecil forward for 2 yards out to the 42. And actually, they'll spot it at the 43. Carrillo with his first completion today. He's 1 of 3, 2 incompletions. And give Huffaker the 6-yard reception. For Stetson, that's a 6th reception of the season for 10 yards. Second down and 7. 2 receivers left, 2 on the right side. Hislop behind Carrillo under center. Wilson in motion. Give to Hislop up the middle, and Colton with a good push initially drives forward. This Rebel offensive line getting a better push today than we've seen maybe all season long. And Hislop out across the 45 to the 47. 4-yard gain. Colton 7 carries, 28 yards. That's 4 yards per carry so far this ball game. Second quarter is brought to you by T7 Propane and Woodruff. Rebels trail 14-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard with 8:15 left in the second. Third down and 3. Carrillo with 2 receivers. Trips to the right, 1 left. Hislop behind Carrillo in the under center. Riley takes the snap, rolls straight. He's got a nice big hole on the right side. First down and more down the right sideline, and he ducks out of bounds He's drugged down out of bounds, and a big carry for Riley Carrillo. That was a big offensive line hole on the right side, brought to you by Saby Trucking. Good luck, Rebels, from Scott and Tiana Saby. Carrillo all the way to the 40-yard line of Monticello. 13 yards on the carry. Gives Riley 71 rushing yards on 5 carries, plus the lone touchdown of the day for Rich. That touchdown was brought to you by Pro Physical Therapy. Rebels failed on the Rich County 4-H extra point, but looking to match or tie things up here as they drive down 14-6. Rebels trail. 3 receivers left. Riley takes the snap, misdirection, give to Wilson. Starts to his right, cuts back up the middle, and gains a couple. Good decision there by Kyler to try to not do more with it than he had available. Sometimes you see guys will bounce to the outside and go backwards 5 yards. Wilson said, no, I'm going to take what the defense will give me and pick up 3 ahead to the 37-yard line. A 3-yard gain for Kyler Wilson. Rebels, that first down moments ago brought to you by Comprehensive Family Dental. Trips to the left, one man right side is Flint Silva. Carrillo under center, takes the snap, quick give. Again, the dive to Hislop inside the 35 to about the 34. Sets up another 3rd down and short. We'll give Hislop 3 yards on the carry. A 3rd down and 3. Rebels need the 30, just inside the 31, so it's a long 3. With time running down in the second quarter, brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. Monticello leads 14-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Carrillo with I formation behind him. Hislop the fullback and Wilson the tailback. I formation. Carrillo takes the snap, pitches, and Hislop is the pitch man. He gets a nice block from Connor Greer, and then Hislop lowers the shoulders, drives ahead, and inside the 30 for a first down to the 29-yard line. Nice gain for Colton Hislop. And that's, boy, I don't know if I've ever seen that where the fullback gets the pitch and the tailback becomes the blocking back. Whistles stop the clock for the moment as the officials want a new football, or what's going on here? With 6:33 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Each team has exchanged a turnover, an interception for the Buckaroos. Rebel defense came up with the pick. Jaden Rao on the Garden City turnover, where families play, Garden City, Utah. And then Rich turned it over right after that. Buckaroos have had 2 possessions go for touchdowns. The Rebels with 1. Justin Adams, Buckwheat. Oh, there was some blood on the football, and Justin has to head to the sideline to get something taken care of. And Rich says, okay, we'll just take a timeout. We'll take one as well. 14-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. 6:28 left here in this T7 Propane in Woodruff second quarter. Here on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com. In today's world, with so many places to shop and so many options to choose from, sometimes you have to boil it down to one simple question: where do I get treated the best? At Cash Honda Yamaha in Logan, we work hard to make sure every customer knows how much we appreciate them. We love what we do, and we believe in the products we sell. Our goal is to build a lasting friendship with every customer so we can serve you and your family for generations. Visit us today, Cash Honda Yamaha, 3765 US 91, Hyde Park, Utah.
When T7 Propane in Woodruff, Utah is your propane supplier, you get reliable, safe, and professional propane service. And that's not all. T7 Propane offers years of expertise, quality product, and the most responsive propane service in the area. For home or other heating needs, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for professional or business propane needs. Call 435-793-4208. That's 435-793-4208.
Back to the action in second quarter action, brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. Rich with a 1st and 10 after that Comprehensive Family Dental first down. Rebels looking over the middle, and Wilson pulls it away from the defense. The throw was a bit behind him, and Logan Draper was right there on the coverage, and Wilson said, "Nah, that is my football," and pulled it right away from Draper down to the 9-yard line, a 20-yard pass and catch. Carrillo's second passing completion of the day. Wilson's first reception. Down to the 9, a 1st and goal. Rebels just inside the 10, I should say. With one man behind him, Carrillo under center, trips to the right. Riley takes and two different Rebel players got, actually 3 players moved early on the snap count. Somebody was off. That's not the way to go, but takes him back 5 yards to the 14. First down and goal, it remains. Trips to the right, Rebels will run the same play. Carrillo takes the snap, running to his right, looking for the option, pitches, and Hislop has it. Cuts inside, down to about the 10, almost back to the original line of scrimmage. I think they'll spawn it closer to the 11-yard line, so we'll give Colton another 4 yards. Puts him at 40 yards on 10 carries in the ball game. Second down and goal from outside the 10 for the Rebels, trailing 14-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. They spot it right at the 11. 5:25 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. 2 receivers right, 2 wide left. And Carrillo under center, ball on the right hash with Hislop behind him. Riley looking, takes the snap, back to throw. He's looking over the middle. Pressure comes. He's brought down. The ball squirts loose, and Bridger Weston falls on it for the Rebels back at the 15-yard line. Carrillo just didn't have time to hold on to it that long, and Rich gets lucky that Weston fell on it at the 16-yard line. A loss of 5, and Rich now in a tough spot with a third down and goal at the 16. Trailing 14-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. 4:44 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Rebels up to the line of scrimmage. Carrillo under center, I formation behind him. 2 receivers left, 1 wide right is Jaden Grohl. Riley again from under center, ball on the right hash, takes the snap, pitches right side. Wilson, nice hole initially, closes up in a hurry as Kyler dives down to the 10. That's a good 6-yard gain, but on 3rd and 16, I don't know how effective that is. We'll see what Rich does from here on a 4th and goal at the 10. No, they spot it out at the 11-yard line. So give Kyler 5 yards on that carry. And Rich takes a timeout with 4:08 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Rebels trailing 14-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. And we'll take this opportunity to thank one of our sponsors, Bear Lake Realty. The highest volume and most experienced realtor in the Bear Lake Valley. There's some Monticello fans across the way. I see a couple of fans over there in blue. I wonder if those are Rebel/Buckaroo fans. I don't know. Either way, our camera is brought to you by BearLakeRealty.com. They've got a beachfront, room with a view, secluded mountain retreats, fantastic timeshare, tons of timeshare options. So if owning your own home is too much, look into quarter share time options and other timeshare options as well. You can also buy a home, rent it out so it pays for itself. You can enjoy it some of the time as well, and soon you've got your own home in beautiful Bear Lake. Gary McKee in Garden City can show you how. Visit BearLakeRealty.com or call them at 435-946-8888. That's 435-946-8888. 4th and goal, Rebels, no hesitation, going for it. I formation behind Carrillo under center, 2 receivers left. Monticello showing some pressure, pitch out to Huffaker, and he's going to throw. He's got Connor Greer, but he throws short, and it's picked off at the goal line. Good recovery defensively by Carson King, who has now 8 receptions, one of them from the other quarterback. And that was Huffaker on the INT for Rich. Rebels tried to pull something out of the bag of tricks, and King was right there on the coverage. So they say that King was in the end zone. Monticello gets a touchback and takes it over 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line with 3:59 left, second quarter. Plenty of time for the Buckaroos. Their 2 scoring drives have been 2:56 and 2:05. Hatch fakes the throw to the right side, then throws deep, and he's got his man caught by Dylan Bird. A foot race, and Kyler Wilson dives, can't make the tackle, and King is gone. Not King, but Dylan Bird. 80 yards on the pass and catch. Dylan Bird showing his speed. Wilson made a great effort to try and stop him, but Devin Hatch with 220 passing yards in this game on 11 of 16. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And the kick by Cedar English is up and good. 21-6. What a swing. The Rebels knock it on the door, give it over on downs with the interception, and the Buckaroos score one play later. 3:47 left to go. That was a 12-second play for the Buckaroos to put another one on the board. Second quarter brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. Let's see, the PAT is good. I've got Devin Hatchett, 11 of 16 for 220 yards and 2 touchdowns of 18 and 80 yards. For Dylan Bird, that's his second reception rather. 2 receptions, 93 yards, and the score. And again, what a swing that was from Rich in the red zone, just about to score. The drive stalls in part because of a penalty, in part because of a sack. And then we go from that to the interception by Carson King. And one play later, Monticello, an 80-yard touchdown strike. And what a throw from Devin Hatch, hitting Dylan Bird right in stride. Cedar English with the kickoff. Applies the left foot to it. A funny kick. Bounces at the 15, and Wilson knocks it down at the 11, picks it up. He's got a lane up the middle to the 30, 35, 40. Makes a man miss at the 50. Down the left sideline to the 40, the 30, the 20. He's running out of gas at the 10 to the 1-yard line, just shy of the end zone. He's pushed out, and Kyler Wilson takes it all the way down inside the 5. Huge return on the kickoff. Wilson picked that up at about the 11, and they'll spot him down at, the 4? Wilson got a nice big wedge right up the middle, and there have been a time or two this season. Looks like they'll spot it at the Monticello 5. There have been a couple of times this season when the Rebels, like in film session, they've said, take that up the middle, don't try to go outside. And that time Wilson took it up the middle and it paid off. I formation behind Carrillo. Riley takes the snap and gives to Wilson right side. He's got a nice big Saby trucking offensive line. Hold down to the goal line. Touchdown! Kyler Wilson is in with 3:23 left to go in the T7 Propane in Woodruff second quarter. And there's a second pro physical therapy touchdown of the day brought to you by physical therapist Dr. Dallas Clark. Kyler Wilson with the 5-yard touchdown run, his 5th touchdown overall this season. He has 3 receiving touchdowns and now 2 rushing touchdowns. Kyler with 26 yards on 5 carries, none bigger than that 5-yard touchdown by Kyler Wilson. Rich going for 2 to try and tie the score. No, they would get within 7 points if they can complete this 2-point conversion attempt. I formation behind Carrillo. Riley hands to Wilson, left side, wrapped up immediately, nowhere to go. He's pushed back, and Rich fails on the 2-point conversion. So with 3:23 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter, the Rich County 4-H 2-point attempt fails, and Rich County 4-H empowering young people with the skills to lead for a lifetime. We'll take a quick break. Rich will kick off when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
When T7 Propane in Woodruff, Utah is your propane supplier, you get reliable, safe, and professional propane service. And that's not all. T7 Propane offers years of expertise, quality product, and the most responsive propane service in the area. For home or other heating needs, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for professional or business propane needs. Call 435-793-4208. That's 435-793-4208.
Unofficially, Kyler Wilson, an 84-yard kick return down to the 5, and then he gets the handoff, goes 5 yards in for the score. Rich, one play, 5 yards, 24 seconds on that drive, and failed on the 2-point conversion attempt, but the pro physical therapy touchdown, and then the failed Rich County 4-H 2-point conversion attempt. Rich set to kick it off. Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff. And Huffaker boots a low line drive, bounces at the 25, bobbled but scooped up at the 20. Right up the middle, Rebels wrap him up. Logan Muirbrook wraps up Draper at the 35-yard line and rips him down to the ground. And Monticello will take over 1st and 10 from its own 35, but there's a flag down. Back at about the 23, 3:15 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Rebels trailing 21-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard. And the penalty is a personal foul against the Rebels. Unnecessary roughness is what they call it. That's 40 yards in penalties against the Rebels in this game. On 3 penalties. So Monticello, instead of at the 35, at their own 35, that takes it to midfield, the 50-yard line. Nose of the football on the Monticello side of the 50. Twins to the left side, and 2 receivers right. Hatch back to throw, sets up the screen, makes the throw to Brevin Olson. The Rebels cover it quickly, and Olson picks up just 5. A flag down at the 50. Stops the clock at 3:07 in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. And I'll have to just see what the official here. I could speculate all day long, but it's an illegal man downfield, or an ineligible shift, isn't it? The hand on the top of the head. No, it is ineligible downfield, ineligible man downfield. That's what I thought initially, and then I heard somebody else say illegal shift, but that's from the chest outward. So the ineligible man downfield, a 5-yard penalty, negate the gain and push them back to their own 45-yard line. A first down and 15. Hatch from the shotgun, quick throw out to the left side. He's got his man, makes the catch. King, though, wrapped up, and a good tackle in the open field by Colton Hislop. And again, that was a situation with 3 receivers out there, but just 2 Rebel defenders. But this time, Rich defenders cover it better. A 4-yard gain for Carson King on his 8th reception of the contest already. 107 receiving yards and a touchdown to the 49-yard line. Second down, Hatch, and a big hole up the middle. Zach Cecil spun around, breaks a tackle at the 40, all the way to the Rebel 33. And a big game. Boy, they've gone away from running consistently, and then when they go to the run, it's been huge yardage to the 34. That's 17 yards for Cecil. He's got 2 carries for 32 yards by my tally, unofficial. To the Rebel 34 with time winding down. Just over 2 minutes left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Ball's on the turf, and Hatch just falls on it. He bobbled it. Jaden Grohl was in the area, but Hatch fell on it first. Loses a few back to the 37. That'll go in the books as a Rebel sack, the second of the day. Hatch has lost. Actually, they spot it back at the 37-yard line, so a loss of 3. Second and 13. 2 receivers left in a twins. 2 receivers right with Olson behind Hatch. He takes the snap and gives to Olson. Brevin on the right side. Inside the 35 to the 30. Spun, wrapped up, driven. A huge pile of defenders. And finally the whistles come as Olson gets inside the 30 to the Rebel 29-yard line. That would be about an 8-yard gain for Olson, who had 9 yards on his previous 7 carries combined. To the Rebel 29-yard line, 3rd down and 5. Hatch rolls to his left, throws as he's hit, and it's almost picked off. Wilson had a chance at it but couldn't pull it in. Right there, the intended receiver, Hiram Johnson, a Monticello senior. That's the first incompletion in 6 attempts for Devin Hatch. He's 12 of 18 for 224 yards. 4th down and 5. Buckaroos in Rebel territory, 4-down territory, leading 21-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard with 1:07 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Trips left, Olson in the shotgun. Rolls quickly to his left, looking to throw, looking, throws over the hands of Cedar English, incomplete, and the Rebel defense forces a turnover on downs. And so that sets up Rich with an opportunity, 1:02 left to go in the first half, to try and maybe push things downfield and get another score before the end of the first half. Second quarter brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. Rebels will honor their seniors during halftime, so make sure to stay tuned for our Ellingford Brothers halftime report. Rich from its own 29-yard line with 1:02 left here in the second quarter. 2 receivers left, 2 out wide right. Rebels' best offense so far has been Riley Carrillo running. 5 carries, 71 yards, and a touchdown. Riley takes the snap, rolls, throws. He's got Flint Silva at the 40, to the 45. He's torn or thrown out of bounds right near midfield. And what a toss by Riley Carrillo. Silva had gone in, then cut back out, and Carrillo hit him in stride for a comprehensive Family Dental first down and more to the 49-yard line. A 20-yard pass and catch from Carrillo to Silva. Flint's third reception of the season. Riley Carrillo, 46 yards passing on 3 of 5 in this first half. That also stopped the clock at 54.6 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Connor Greer, the lone man on the right side, trips left. Carrillo under center, takes the snap, looks to his left, rolls to his right to get away from pressure. He'll tuck it and step out of bounds to stop the clock. He also picked up a couple across midfield to the Buckaroos 48-yard line. A 3-yard gain for Carrillo. And Riley learning as he goes. The sophomore, we saw him earlier this year against Layton Christian do that very same thing and then throw it late and kind of threw it up for grabs, ended up in an interception. Today, he tucks it, picks up a few, and then ducks out of bounds, avoids the hit, stops the clock. Great decision there by the sophomore Riley Carrillo. One receiver wide left, ball on the right hash with 2 receivers right, I formation behind Carrillo under center. 2nd down and 7. Rebels trying to get another score on the board. Riley takes the snap, gives left side on a give right up the gut to Kyler Wilson, who goes almost nowhere, and Coach Justin Grohl immediately asks for the timeout with 43.2 seconds left. Kyler Wilson picked up 2 to the 46 to set up a 3rd and 5. I think Coach Grohl maybe was thinking, well, Monticello is going to look for us to pass here, so we'll try to run up the middle and see if we can pick up the first down and more, but no, didn't get much. Our Ellingford Brothers halftime show is coming up. Rebels trail 21-12 on the station on main scoreboard with 43 seconds left in this T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. We'll talk about the seniors a bit. We'll also have the Rich County government first half highlights. And the Town of Woodruff standout student today, Jaslyn Chandler, a freshman at Rich High School, member of the Rich Rebel cheer squad. And they call her Jazzy. I asked her, because if your name is Jaslyn, Jazzy, you got to be a Jazz fan, right? Nope, not this, not Jazzy. We'll hear more about that during our Town of Woodruff standout student during the halftime show, brought to you by Ellingford Brothers. That's coming up. In the meantime, still 43 seconds left of this second quarter, and Rich trying to drive. They're into Monticello territory at the 46-yard line, but facing a 3rd and 5. Have one more timeout in this first half. I formation behind Carrillo under center. 2 receivers left. Riley pitches left side. Huffaker looking to throw again. He looks right, looks left, looks back to his right, and throws short and in and out of the hands of Logan Draper. Stetson Huffaker should be 2 for 2. Instead, he's lucky, only has 1 pick, as that one falls incomplete, in and out of the hands. That was an easy catch for Logan Draper. That's one of those that it looks so easy. It's right there that you don't focus and just let it fall out of your hands. So Rich trying the trickery fails again, but maintains possession for a 4th and 5. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Hislop behind Carrillo under center. Ball on the right hash for a 4th and 5. Riley takes the snap. Drops back, looks to throw, right side. He's got Stetson Huffaker, who makes the catch and reaches out at the 40. That would be enough for a first down, if indeed that's where they spot it. They do. A first down, brought to you by Comprehensive Family Dental and Dr. Sean Grohl. Rich needed 5 yards. They picked up 6. Huffaker, or was that Jaden Grohl on the reception? That was Huffaker. That's what I thought. Huffaker, 2 receptions for 12 yards. Also stopped the clock with 31.6 seconds left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. 2 receivers right, 2 wide left. Carrillo back, looking to throw. Great protection up front. He looks deep over the middle and overthrows Jaden Grohl. Flint Silva in the area as well. And Carson King actually got a fingertip on it before it fell incomplete. Carrillo had completed 4 straight before that incompletion. He's got 52 yards on 4 of 7 passing. 2nd down and 10 with 25.7 seconds left in the quarter. We've seen Coach Justin Grohl go to a hook and lateral in moments such as this. I think teams had started to expect it, but we haven't seen it much this season. Just a few times. Trips to the left side. Connor Greer isolated on the right. Free safety. is Logan Draper. He cheats back toward the middle of the field on a trips left. Ball on the right hash, 2nd down and 10. Carrillo runs to his left, looking to throw. Looks back to his right and throws deep for Greer and threw it behind him. Defense, Dylan Bird was right there, and if Carrillo throws that more toward the left hash and hits Connor Greer in stride, he had him open. Connor Greer had created some separation, but the throw behind Greer on the route, the deep in, kind of a post route. So the incompletion stops the clock at 19.7 seconds left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. 3rd and 10, Rebels at the Buckaroos 40-yard line. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Carrillo in the shotgun with Hislop on his left hip. Ball on the right hash. Riley takes the snap, pressure coming from the left, stands in there, throws deep, and it's picked off, and this may be dangerous. Running to his right, Cedar English wrapped up, slowed down just enough for the rest of the Rebels to get there. A flag flies in from way back, about 30 yards away. That flag flew in, and Carrillo throws his 12th interception of the season. Rebels did make the tackle. Rich trails 21-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard, and it's a hold is what they're indicating against Monticello on the interception return. So 10 yards back puts them at 35 yards in penalties in this first half, and they'll say the spot of the foul was the 42, so back to Monticello's own 32-yard line. 7.3 seconds left in this first half. You got to expect the Buckaroos to just take a knee and go into the half leading 21-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Perhaps not. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Hatch in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Oh, and he does take a knee. Coach Anderson saying, hey, we don't need to pick up or worry about yardage. And Hatch takes a knee to take us to the half. Buckaroos lead 21-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard. This second quarter has been brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff for all your propane needs. 435-793-4208. That's 435-793-4208. Now, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll honor the seniors. We'll have your Ellingford Brothers halftime show and more when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on MyLocalRadio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports boosters, the Wilson Ranch in Randolph. Good luck, Rebels, from Dale, Kim, Kyler, and Casey. Remember, the harder you work, the more good luck you'll have. And by Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot, Feed and Supply, a custom shop specializing in leather and wood goods, with a farm feed and supply store to boot. Proudly supporting the Rich Rebels, the Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot, Feed and Supply store.
Is it time to stop wishing for your dream home in beautiful Bear Lake? If you're ready to make your dream a reality, Bear Lake Realty can help. With residential and land listings, including vacation properties, timeshares, cabins, condos, beachfront, lake view, and more, Bear Lake Realty has what you're looking for. And with more than 30 years of real estate experience in the area, you know you're working with the best. Visit BearLakeRealty.com and come and enjoy the Caribbean of the Rockies with us.
Established in 1870, Randolph, Utah is home to the Rich Rebels, to hardy people of high character, and to values of dedication, honesty, hard work, education, and respect for self and others. Randolph is also home to friendly folks who love their families, their town, and their neighbors. Count yourself a neighbor whenever you visit Randolph, Utah. Mayor Lynn Weston and the Town Council of Randolph wish the Rich Rebels good luck and invite you to visit anytime.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net. Welcome back to Ridge High School and the halftime show brought to you by Ellingford Brothers of Evanston. Ellingford Brothers, the best in specialized services including construction, steel fabrication, sand and gravel, and more. at the half. Monticello leads 21-12 here on Senior Day at Rich High School. You see the seniors up in front of you, and if I can find my sheet real quick, here we go. All right, the Rebel seniors, not necessarily in any orders, although I can look and see that on your left is Kyler Wilson, son of Dale and Kim Wilson. Bridger Weston, son of Monty Brett and Nikki Weston. And now they've moved out of order, so we'll just go down the list. Corrigan Conk, son of Brian and Emily Conk. Colton Hislop, son of Steve and Carrie Hislop. Stetson Huffaker, son of Wynn and Heather Huffaker. And Leslie Welling. Austin Peterson, son of Jason and Penny Peterson. And then Flint Silva, son of Dusty and Brandy Mills. The seniors for the Monticello Buckaroos: Dylan Bird, Zach Cecil, Atticus Sheeran, Carson King, Tyler Bushoner, Eldine Lammert, Dylan Slack, and Hiram Johnson. And congratulations to those seniors. And, boy, they're finishing out their last home game for the Rich Rebel football team. Stay tuned. More of the Ellingford Brothers halftime show. When we return, we'll have some Rich County 4-H first half highlights and stats right after this on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
The best cement comes from Ellingford Brothers in Evanston. They've been mixing cement for every type of job for generations. Major construction, road and bridge, cement blocks, foundations, sidewalks, curb and gutter, cement steps, septic tanks, and water troughs. No job is too large or too small. Make sure you get the best quality cement available at the best prices. Always get your cement from Ellingford Brothers. Call today. Ellingford Brothers, we know cement. 307-789-1515.
Success is no accident. It comes from constant hard work, perseverance, sacrifice, and learning from failure. Laketown Mayor Burdette Weston and council members Dallas Clark, Chris Hodges, Gary Ogilvie, and Delora White encourage the Rich High Rebels to continue to do whatever it takes to succeed in academics, activities, and athletics. The town council and citizens of Laketown celebrate the success of all the students and staff in the Rich School District.
Back at Rich High School for the Ellingford Brothers halftime show. Ellingford Bros. Visit ellingfordbros.com. The best in specialized services, including construction, steel fabrication, sand and gravel, and more. The Rich Rebel drill team, the Rebelettes, performing here at the half, where the Rebels trail 21-12 on the station on main scoreboard. One of our epic recreation keys of the game for Rich in this one was to limit turnovers, to win the turnover battle. And in that first half, Rich gave it away on a fumble and on 2 interceptions. Was it 2 interceptions? Yeah, they did. That one in the end zone and then one right there before the end of the first half. So that's 3 turnovers that the Rebels have given it away, and they've taken it away 1 time. An interception by Jaden Rao on just the second play of the game. But since throwing that interception, Devin Hatch has completed 12 of 18 passes, 224 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So a rough start for the Monticello Buckaroo sophomore, but following that rough start, he's been very, very good after that. The running game didn't get going much for the Monticello Buckaroos, just 37 rushing yards in the first half, but 224 yards through the air, a total of 261. Rich, just about the opposite, 52 yards on the ground or through the air, as Riley Carrillo went 4 of 9 with that pick and 52 yards, and then Stetson Huffaker had an interception as well, passing the ball. Rebels 142 rushing yards, and most of that has been Riley Carrillo, 74 yards on just 6 carries, including a 39-yard scamper, plus runs of 13, 9, and 8, plus the touchdown for Rich. And the Rebels with the deficit 21-12 on the station on main scoreboard. And Rich will receive to start the second half, so there's a little bit of positivity there if Rich can get some things going. Colton Hislop, second on the team, second for either team in rushing, 10 carries, 40 yards in the game. Kyler Wilson, 6 carries, 28 yards, and a touchdown, plus that long kick return of 84 yards unofficially. But Rich at the half trails 21-12 on the station on main scoreboard. We started this one off, Monticello with the football. Rich intercepted Devin Hatch on the second play, but then 2 plays in, the Rebels fumbled it and gave it right back to Monticello. They took advantage with a 7-play, 62-yard drive. The next Rebel possession ended with a punt after picking up a couple of first downs, getting to midfield. Monticello punted, and then the Rebels put together a nice scoring drive that was capped off by Riley Carrillo's 2-yard touchdown run. But Rich failed on the extra point and trailed 7-6. Monticello answered right back, 8 plays, 74 yards, and a touchdown. 18-yard pass from Devin Hatch to Carson King, and then they converted the extra point, made it 14-6. They would score again a few minutes later after the Rebels were intercepted on the goal line. Devin Hatch found Dylan Bird down the right sideline, and then Bird did the rest, 80 yards. It was about a 20, maybe a 30-yard pass, and Bird ran the rest of the way for the score to make it 21-6. Rich answered quickly. Kyler Wilson returned it 84 yards to the 5, and then Wilson got the handoff 5 yards up the middle for the touchdown. But Rich again failed on the 2-point conversion attempt, and that that was it for the scoring in the first half. Rich trails 21-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebel cheerleaders performing here at the half with Rich trailing by 9, 21-12. Rich has gone for 2 twice and failed both times. These are highlights brought to you by Rich County Government, Rebels with a championship cause. And some other highlights. Rich, again, defensively in the running game has shut down Monticello pretty well. Brevin Olson, 8 carries for just 17 yards, and 8 of those came on 1 carry late in the first half. But Sam Cecil has been a contrast, a sigh of, or a breath of fresh air for this Monticello running game. Hit 2 carries for 32 yards. He's their leading rusher. The Buckaroos with 37 rushing yards, and Zach Cecil had 32 in the first half. But again, the big story, Devin Hatch, 12 of 19, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns, plus Carson King, 8 receptions, 107 yards, and a touchdown. Through the air, Monticello getting it done today and leading 21-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard. For those of you following 2A football, the North Summit Braves beat Kanab Cowboys last night, 20-7. Other games today, Duchesne has a bye. Beaver is at Parowan. Milford plays at North Sevier, and it's Millard at Enterprise in the 2A South. The last time we were able to see the RPI ratings, it was Beaver 1, Milford 2, Millard 3, Duchesne 4, Kanab 5, Enterprise 6, followed by Parowan, North Summit, Monticello, North Sevier, LCA, Layton Christian, Gunnison, and then Rich. Now, judging on how close Enterprise and Kanab were, and with Enterprise winning last week over Kanab, I would bet Enterprise jumped over Kanab into the 5th spot. Then Kanab lost yesterday, so that would have dipped them down a bit more. Enterprise hosts Millard tonight, so that could determine who takes 5th and who takes 6th, or somewhere in that area. Duchesne's win over Rich last week, and Millard's loss against Beaver. It was at home against Beaver. That loss against Beaver likely dipped Millard down a bit and may have allowed Duchesne to jump over the Eagles from Millard. It was the Eagles and the Eagles there, 3 and 4. Millard and Duchesne both Eagles. But so some tight races there for 3, 4, 5, 6 spots. Monticello a few points behind North Summit. And with North Summit's win yesterday, even a Monticello win here today probably wouldn't be enough to move them up out of 9th and into 8th place. But you never know. Final RPI ratings will be released, I believe, tomorrow. And then I guess we'll see from there. Either way, Rich will be on the road next week for the play-in round. And based on where ratings were before they took them down from the UHSAA website, and based on what has happened, I think Rich is going to be on the road at Millard next Friday afternoon. We'll have to see for sure on that, and I'll definitely talk about that Monday morning on Rebel, which you can catch at 10:30 a.m. on KNYN 99.1 FM, the Big Dog in Country. That's our sister station. 21-12 at the half. Monticello leads on the Station on Main scoreboard. These first half highlights, stats, and info have been brought to you by Rich County Government, Rebels with a championship cause. Stay tuned on the Ellingford Brothers halftime report. We'll be back with the Town of Woodruff standout student right after this on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. When you enter the city limits of the town of Woodruff, the sign welcomes you to a place with the coldest temps and the warmest hearts. Settled in 1870, we celebrate the values of kindness, compassion, and friendliness, knowing a community's greatness may best be measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Mayor Scott Sabian, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell, welcome you and say,
Go Ridge Rebels!
Every excavation project requires the professionals, the equipment, and the strategy to get the job done right. J-Bar Excavation in Randolph, Utah has the team, the tools, and the plan to execute every phase of your project to create exactly what you're looking for. They have the machinery and the experience to provide quality work that fits your schedule and your budget. Call them today, 435-793-5855. J-Bar Excavation, 90 North Main, Randolph. The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on mylocalradio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit mylocalradio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live. Back on the Ellingford Brothers halftime show, brought to you by Ellingford Brothers of Evanston, the best in specialized services, including construction, steel fabrication, sand and gravel, and more. Visit ellingfordbros.com. 21-12 at the half. Monticello leads. They've taken advantage of 3 Rebel turnovers in that first half, but Rich overall moving the football pretty well. Already its best statistical game of the season with 194 yards of offense in that first half. Well, Layton Christian, Rich, finished with 218 yards of offense. So, but boy, Rich, a good first half offensively. Just got to take care of the ball better, limit those mistakes. In the meantime, we got second half action coming up, but in the meantime, our Town of Woodruff standout student, Town of Woodruff, Mayor Scott Saby, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell. With Jaslyn Chandler, they call her Jazzy, a freshman at Rich High School. Jazzy, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
How's your freshman year going?
At first it was kind of scary and I didn't really know what to expect, but when I got here it was really good. Like the teachers are nice and I've been pretty good with all my classes.
Any classes you're really enjoying?
I really like math and science. Science is always fun.
Either of those something you've thought about pursuing in the future, maybe as a career?
I am not quite certain what I want to pursue as my career.
As Tom Petty said, the future is wide open. Do you know who Tom Petty is?
I have no clue.
I didn't think so, but the future is wide open nonetheless.
Yeah.
Jaslyn, tell me about your name. Where did your parents get that? How did they come up with it, and that kind of stuff?
Jazz is from my father, Jason, and it was going to be Jaslyn, but my mom found the Z and liked it better. And then the Lynn at the end of the name, that is from my great-grandfather. His middle name was Lynn.
That's cool. A combination of a family name.
Yeah.
And do you like the nickname Jazzy?
Yeah, I really do.
Have you had to become a Utah Jazz fan just because?
No, I have not.
So you're not a Jazz fan?
I don't really care.
Jaslyn, your freshman year going well, you said. Are there activities so far that you've enjoyed a lot that maybe you weren't expecting out of high school, or anything that's been especially fun for you?
I really enjoyed homecoming. It was pretty fun. It was good.
What about it was fun and good?
I liked the bonfire, and I just liked being able to hang out after that.
You're involved with cheer. We'll get a little bit more into that, discussing that in a bit. Is there anything else that you plan to do in your freshman year at Rich High School, the musical, or maybe golf in the spring or anything?
I'm going to be in the musical, and I'm considering being in track.
Do you know what musical they're doing? Have they settled on Camp of Rock or something like that?
I do not know, no.
Have you done musicals in the past, like at Rich Middle School?
Yes, I have. I was in one every year.
And what do you enjoy about that, doing the shows?
I just like being able to grow close with some people. I have a lot of fun, and there's a lot of fun backstage, and I just love being able to feel what things have been before, and then coming to performance. I love the change that happens there.
You said you like math and science. What do you like about those classes?
Science is always just really, we have a good time in that class, and I like learning about it. And then math, I just like working with numbers.
Is there a particular science you like? Geology, animals? I don't know. I'm not a science guy. What else is there?
I don't know.
Is there one that you like? I mean, my kid loves bugs, right? So he wants to be an entomologist. Is there a particular field of science that you enjoy the most?
I've been kind of thinking about biology and getting into that. But yeah, I've enjoy earth science and stuff like that.
So, Jazzy, the musical, possibly track and field, cheer, what prompted you or how did you get into becoming a cheerleader?
Really, it was because my sister became a cheerleader her sophomore year, and I was either going to pursue going into cheerleading or doing drill, and basically Tiana was the deciding factor on that. I wanted to spend a bit more time with her.
So this is your first year doing cheer. Had you done cheer in middle school?
No, I didn't.
And how do you like it?
I have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. The coaches are very good. We're persistent, and I feel like we've grown a lot, even just like halfway through the trimester.
Is it about what you thought it would be, like being a cheerleader, or is it a lot different than what you expected?
It's kind of the same, but I wasn't expecting like as much involvement in things, but I really like that we're involved in things and we get to do pep rallies and that involvement.
So you enjoy being on the cheer team. Is there something that you enjoy the most about it?
I love stunting. I love being able to do that. That's fun.
That's something that you have to kind of develop and work toward getting better at throughout the year, isn't it?
Yes, most definitely.
And do you get to be like on the stunts? Are you holding? So are you on the bottom? Are you like getting lifted up, or where are you at on the different stunts?
I am a base, so I'm one of the people who lifts them up.
Have you had to get in the weight room to get ready for that stuff?
We did at the beginning of the year, but not really.
Just the natural strength is there from Jazzy, right?
I guess.
And what about your sister? Is she a base, or are you guys lifting her up?
She bases most, but she can fly.
That sounds cool, but she can fly. How does she like hearing that kind of thing?
I don't know. I guess I'll have to ask her.
All right. Anything else we should know about you? Do you have other hobbies, passions, play any instruments, anything like that?
I don't play a lot of instruments. I can play the ukulele, and I really enjoy drawing.
What do you like to draw?
Basically anything that just comes to mind. I like drawing landscapes mostly.
Do you use like a pencil, colored pencils, crayons like me, or markers? What do you use?
I just use pencils and just shade with that.
Are you taking an art class right now?
I will second trimester.
Jaslyn, what's your favorite thing about being a Rich Rebel?
I just love the community, and I love being a part of things.
Freshman Jaslyn Chandler, member of the Rich High Cheer Squad. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck with the rest of your freshman year.
Okay, thank you, Ryan.
Well, thanks so much, Jaslyn. That was your standout student, brought to you by the town of Woodruff. Mayor Scott Saby, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson with Secretary Lisa Bell. We're back at Rich High School with the Rebels trailing 21-12 on the station on Main scoreboard against the Monticello Buckaroos. Monticello led 21-6 at one point. Rebels answered with a touchdown, and Rich will get the kickoff to start second half action. A short kick over the head of Riker Conk, bounces out to the 15-yard line where Wilson picks it up and then steps out about the 22 just to avoid the hit. Wasn't going to pick up anything after that anyway. I want to thank Jaslyn Chandler for that interview here on the halftime show. Interview was brought to you by the town of Woodruff. Our halftime show by Ellingford Brothers. Ellingford, the best in specialized services, including construction, steel fabrication, sand and gravel, and so much more. Rich will start this first possession of the second half from its own 22-yard line. 1st and 10. Riley Carrillo, 4 of 9, 52 yards in the first half, and Colton Hislop with 10 carries for 40 yards. Carrillo carried it 6 times for 74. Riley takes the snap and pulls it out, looking to run. He's got Flint Silva wide open downfield, but Riley tucks it and goes across the 31st down out to the 33, maybe the 34-yard line. And learning already, he had a play just like that earlier where he tried to throw it late and fumbled the ball. This time he just tucks it and picks up about 12 to the 34-yard line. Riley Carrillo with 86 yards on 7 carries. Is my math correct on that? 39 plus 17, that's 56 plus 2, 58. Yeah, 86 yards, including that 12-yard run, a comprehensive Family Dental first down. 2 receivers right, I formation behind Carrillo under center. Greer out wide on the left side. Snap, give to Kyler Wilson up the middle, spins through the Saby Trucking offensive line hole out to the 38-yard line. Make it the 37 is where they'll spot it, a 3-yard gain. Kyler Wilson with 31 yards on 7 carries in the game. And Rich trails 21-12 on the station on Main scoreboard. This third quarter is brought to you by Town of Randolph. Rebels trailing by 9, so they're down by 2 scores, but plenty of time left as we've just started our third quarter action. 2 receivers right, 1 left. I formation behind Carrillo, under center. Looks back at his backs with Wilson the tailback, and Carrillo turned the wrong way, but still got the handoff to Wilson, who crosses the 40 to the 41-yard line, a 4-yard gain. Brings up a 3rd and short. Rebels need their own 44-yard line to move the chains, and they're marked at their own 41. A 3rd down and 3. Buckaroos lead 21-12. Rebels scored the most recent touchdown midway through the second quarter. We're driving and then threw an interception late in the first half. I formation behind Carrillo again. No free safety over the top as Carrillo goes under center, takes the snap, pitches left side. Wilson has a wall of blockers, has the first down, and just a little bit more. He's ridden out of bounds by a big, tough Adair, one of the top tacklers on the team. He has 4 forced fumbles this season, 58 tackles, and at least 59 with that one, but it wasn't early enough as Wilson gets out to the 45-yard line and gains 4 for a comprehensive Family Dental first down. Kyler 9 carries, 39 yards, and moves the chains. Another comprehensive Family Dental first down for the Rebels with just under 10 minutes left in the Town of Randolph third quarter. Ball in the left hash with trips to the right. A lot of defenders on that right side. Carrillo goes the other direction, and he's got a lot of room to run. Tucks it across the 50, and a good open field tackle by the Buckaroos defense. Can't see who that number was. It looked like it might have been Zach Cecil on the tackle, but Carrillo picks up 4 to the 50-yard line. We're at the 46. 90 yards rushing for Carrillo on 8 carries. Oh, 2nd down and 6. Rebels with the nose of the football right on their own side of the 50. Rich attacking right to left at mylocalradio.com. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Riley takes a snap, rolls out, and throws over the middle back for Flint Silva, and it was just a bit too high and incomplete. Riley 4 of 10 for 52 yards and a pick so far through 2 quarters and change. 8:44 left in the Town of Randolph third quarter. A 3rd down and 6. Rich needs the Monticello 45-yard line to pick up the comprehensive Family Dental first down. Offensive line comes to the scrimmage. 2 receivers left, 1 right. I formation behind Carrillo under center. A little bit longer count. Carrillo takes the snap, pitches for Wilson. He tries to bounce it around the outside, cuts up through defenders, gets close to a first down before he stopped and pushed back. But he got to the 46-yard line, which may give Rich the opportunity to go for it here on 4th and a yard. Wilson was driven back and thrown into the ground well after the whistle. 46-yard line, a 4-yard gain, and that was a pretty good gain for Kyler. There was about 4 or 5 defenders out there, and he had just 1 blocker. 4th down and 1. Rebels at the Monticello 46, and Rich lining up to go for it. This could be your McKay Frankham Dental Services precision play of the game. I formation behind Carrillo. Watch for a hard count here. We'll see if we get it. Nope. Rebels I formation, give to Wilson. First down, he's got it. From this angle, that's right in front of us. We can see Wilson picked up the first down and a little bit more. Comprehensive Family Dental first down to the 44-yard line. Wilson with 46 yards on 11 carries. And the Rebels move the chains and keep this drive alive. That was the 7th play of this drive. And Rich at the Monticello 44-yard line. Ball on the left hash. Trips to the right side. Flint Silva alone on the left. Hislop behind Carrillo under center. Riley takes the snap, running to his right. Has it. Tucks it upfield. He had a pitch man wide open, but he tucked it and cut upfield for a gain of about 5, maybe 6 yards. He's got to make that man commit and then pitch or hold it after he makes the man commit. But a good read, a gain of 7. They'll spot it at the 37-yard line. 2nd down and 3 for the Rebel offense. At the Monticello 37-yard line, Connor Greer wide left. He's got the cancer awareness, pink sleeves on. Two receivers right, two receivers left. One in the backfield. Hislop is the man. Carrillo takes the snap, fakes to Hislop, and keeps it himself. He's tripped up from behind. After he gets down to the 32, maybe the 33, it'll be enough to move the chains. Another comprehensive Family Dental first down. They spot it right between the 32 and 33. We'll give Riley another 5-yard gain. He's over 100 yards rushing. That's the first Rebel this season to run for more than 100 yards in a game. And I think with that, Riley actually becomes the leading ball carrier this season. Comprehensive Family Dental first down. Carrillo under center, trips to his right at the Monticello 32-yard line. Ball on the left hash. Riley back to throw. Plenty of time. Over the middle. He's got Wilson. Makes the catch at the 10 to the 5. He's brought down. And he's into the red zone. Down inside the 10. What a grab by Kyler Wilson. His second big catch. The throw was a bit behind. And Kyler once again just went up and said, "That's my football." And pulls it. Rips it out of the air for the reception of 27 yards. Kyler with 2 receptions for 47 yards. And the Rebels are knocking on the door. A 1st and goal. Comprehensive Family Dental first down. Carrillo under center with 2 receivers right, 2 left. Takes the snap, runs right, tries to fling it out there. He finds Huffaker, who makes the catch, drives for the end zone, and he's in! Touchdown Rebels! Somehow Carrillo with the strength to flick it out there to Stetson Huffaker, who had the presence of mind to come back to the football, make the catch, and then drive his way into the end zone for the score. A 5-yard touchdown pass and catch, Carrillo's 4th passing touchdown of the season. Monticello Buckaroo is down and injured. We'll take a quick timeout. 21-18 on the Station on Main scoreboard. 6:06 left in the town of Randolph third quarter.
Established in 1870, Randolph, Utah is home. Home to the rich Rebels, to hardy people of high character, and to values of dedication, honesty, hard work, education, and respect for self and others. Randolph is also home to friendly folks who love their families, their town, and their neighbors. Count yourself a neighbor whenever you visit Randolph, Utah. Mayor Lynn Weston and the Town Council of Randolph wish the rich Rebels good luck and invite you to visit anytime.
When shopping for a vehicle, it's important to have a good selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. It's also important to have a knowledgeable salesperson that listens, a finance team that helps you get the payment that matches your pocketbook, and a smart office staff that makes sure all the paperwork is done right. You can always rest assured knowing that our whole team is working for you. Auto Farm Chevrolet. Stop in today. We're a community-driven dealer.
At beautiful Bear Lake, skiing, snowmobiling, sailing, and swimming are just some of the fun activities offered to recreationists. The Greater Bear Lake Valley offers prime hunting and fishing areas, whether it's trout fishing in the streams or ice fishing for Cisco on the lake, hunting deer or seeking elk along the high mountain ridges. The scenic corner of Utah and Idaho offers outdoor recreation and historical interests away from crowds and high prices. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
11 plays, 78 yards, and the Rebels have a chance to climb to within a point, going for 2 on the Rich County 4-H extra point attempt. Pitch left side, Huffaker lowers the shoulders and cannot get in. The short yardage has not been successful for Rich. Huffaker stuffed, and the Rebels have to settle for a 3-point deficit. The difference so far, extra points. The Buckaroos 3 for 3 on extra point attempts. The Rebels 0 for 3. All 3 times going for 2. Rich, 11 plays, 78 yards, 5 minutes, 54 seconds off the clock, and Riley Carrillo, a 5-yard touchdown pass to Stetson Huffaker. Riley's 4th touchdown pass of the season, Huffaker's 1st touchdown reception of the season. And the touchdown brought to you by Pro Physical Therapy, physical therapist Dr. Dallas Clark. And the extra point, Rich County 4-H, empowering young people with the skills to lead for a lifetime. So Monticello holding a 3-point, a field goal lead, 21-18 on the Station on Main scoreboard, and set to receive this kickoff. That was a 78-yard drive, the longest time of possession on a single drive for the Rebels this season, 5 minutes, 54 seconds. And again, failed on the 2-point conversion. Riley Carrillo on that drive, 2 for 3 for 32 yards and the touchdown, plus had 4 carries for 28 yards. Kyler Wilson with 5 carries for 18 yards on the drive. And the Rebels within 3. Wilson also had that 27-yard reception. What a grab it was. There's been twice today that the ball has been in the air, and the defense has had as good of a shot at it as the offense has, and Wilson said, "No, that's mine." Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff. Huffaker, nice long line drive, fielded at about the 6, bobbled and dropped by Zach Cecil. He picks it up to the 10 to the 15, sidesteps one, ball's on the turf, but I think Cecil was going down and fell right back on it at the 22. But some good coverage by the Rebel kick coverage team. And indeed, Cecil, I think, did fall on top of it. So the Buckaroos have a 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line. That's where Rich started its last drive, its own 22. Third quarter is brought to you by the town of Randolph. Good luck from the mayor, board members, and clerk. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Hatch in the shotgun. He went to 12 of 19 for 2 touchdowns, 224 yards in the first half. Quick handoff up the middle. And Cecil has the first down up the middle across the 30 to the 33. And a first down for Monticello. Zach Cecil, just his 3rd carry. But if you add up the numbers, 3rd carry for, let's see, that one goes for 11. So he's at 43 yards on just 3 carries. Rebels don't have an answer for Zach Cecil. So it's like a draw play up the middle. And Rich putting so much focus on the passing game that Cecil is finding some big holes in the running game. Bridger Weston comes off trying to catch his breath. And the Rebels get a different player in there. Looks like Hayden Weston in on the defensive line to fill in, and Weston just gets a breather. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Hatch throws out to his left. He was bumped in the back by Zach Cecil, and that forced the throw to be too high and incomplete. Hatch has been streaky today. He threw an interception, then completed 5 in a row, missed 3 in a row, then hit 6 of his next 7 attempts. Then he's missed his last 3. 2nd down and 10. Buckaroos from their own 33-yard line. Hatch to the snap again. This time gives to Brevin Olson, and he's spun forward to the 40-yard line. Logan Muirbrook on the tackle. Out at the 40, indeed. A 7-yard gain for Brevin Olson. 9 carries, 24 yards. For Olson brings up a 3rd down and 3. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Rebels showing some pressure up the middle. Give to Olson. Picks his way forward. Has very close to a first down, but then the Rebels hold him up. Flint Silva grabbed Olson, and then Logan Muirbrook came in with the second man, the hit, and stopped Olson in his tracks at the 42-yard line, 1 yard shy of the first down. That was a 2-yard gain for Brevin Olson, who's up to 26 rushing yards on just 10 carries. And it brings up a 4th down and 1. Monticello leads 21-18 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Last time they had a short yardage situation like this, they had ran a hard count and the Rebels jumped off sides. Offset eye behind Devin Hatch. Rebels showing some pressure. Hatch takes the snap, drives forward on a quarterback keeper. The Rebels have stopped him, and we'll see where they spot it. Oh, this is going to be close. We might need a measurement. Hatch. Oh, the line judge on the far sideline says, move those chains. My spot, first down. So Hatch picks up. He needed 36 inches. He got 37. And that moves the chains to the 43-yard line and a first down. Hatch rolls to his right, looking to throw. Fakes the throw, then looks. He's hit hard from behind. It was an out and up for Carson King, but Hatch didn't quite have time to deliver on the up. He's hit from behind. Pass flings down to the turf, incomplete. 2nd down and 10, Buckaroos. Ball right near the middle of the field as the Buckaroos attack left to right at mylocalradio.com. Town of Randolph, 3rd quarter. 4:12 left in the period. 21-18 Buckaroos lead on the Station on Main scoreboard. 2nd and 10, 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Hatch takes the snap and gives Zach Cecil up the middle. Rebels wrap him up after about 4 or 5 yards. He stays on his feet and is driven for another 3 or 4 and is close to a first down in Rebel territory at the 49. Boy, that big offensive line. Eldine Lammert, Joseph Boyle, Tough Adair, Dylan Slack. and Carson Wells do the Bush push and just drive him forward for a gain of 8. 3rd down. Hatch turns and gives to Cecil, and he is stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 yards back to his own 49. He had gone for 4 carries, 51 yards before that loss of 2. Buckaroos not hesitating. Line right back up on this 4th down and a short 4 at their own 49-yard line. Trips out to the right. Hatch in the shotgun, takes the snap, looks, still looking, points, throws, tipped, and it's almost picked off, but it doesn't matter. Incomplete. Turnover on downs. The Rebels will take over. Rich doing a nice job to string that one out and forcing the turnover on downs. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive incompletions for Devin Hatch. 3 of those here in this 3rd quarter. Rich takes over on the turnover on downs at the Monticello 49-yard line. Good field position for this Rebel offense, which just marched down the field 11 plays, 78 yards to climb to within 3. 21-18 on the Station on Main scoreboard. 3:04 left in the Town of Randolph 3rd quarter. Wilson in motion left to right. Carrillo takes the snap, rolls to his right, looking for something, flings it out to Wilson, caught on the right sideline, and he's up the sideline for the 1st down before he's pushed out. Carrillo being hit as he made that throw. He had to make that outside man commit. He finally did, and enabled Wilson to find himself open on the right sideline, and Carrillo threw it just in time to the 39-yard line, just enough for a 1st down. And Riley Carrillo, I've got him with 94 passing yards, including that 10-yard pass and catch to Wilson. Riley runs on the option out to his left. Late pitch, and Hislop is wrapped up and brought down back at the 50. Progress was stopped about the 47-yard line is what it looked like, so we'll see where they spot that. But, boys and girls, that's how you defend the option, is you force the quarterback to commit to the pitch, but then you have your footwork in place to get back to that pitch man, which is what we just saw. So Hislop loses a bunch back to the 47, an 8-yard loss. 2nd down and long, 18 to go. Trips to the right side. Hislop behind Carrillo under center. Riley rolls to his right, throws over the middle for Wilson, and a little bit too high. Kyler can't go up to get it this time. Incomplete. Carrillo 7 of 14, 94 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Brings up 3rd and 18 for the Rebels. Here in the Town of Randolph 3rd quarter, Rich trailing 21-18 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels have the only touchdown of this 2nd half, but this drive near midfield, stalling. Rebels had picked up a comprehensive family dental 1st down on this drive, but then a pitch that went the wrong direction, a loss of 8, has brought us to a 3rd down and 18. Huffaker on the right side with Wilson and Greer. Jaden Grohl alone on the left side. Trips right, one man behind Carrillo, who's under center. That's Hislop in the backfield. Riley steps back, looking to throw, rolls to his right, flings it out there, and stepping in front for the pick, Dylan Bird. He read it perfectly, and the throw not nearly enough to the outside. Looking for Connor Greer. Bird picks it off, a 3rd interception of the day for this Monticello defense. Buckaroos take over, and it's at their own 42. Town of Randolph 3rd quarter, 1:58 left in the 3rd. And Riley Carrillo's thrown 2 picks, plus Stetson Huffaker has thrown 1. Hatch in the shotgun, 2 receivers left, twins out to the right. Devin steps back, the sophomore, deep down the left sideline. He's got his man wide open, caught by King. Left sideline to the 20 to the 10-5, touchdown. Rebels coverage broke down, and King was left all alone for a 58-yard touchdown pass from Devin Hatch. And that's his 2nd touchdown pass of 58 yards or more, right? He had an 80-yard touchdown pass and catch to Dylan Bird earlier. This one, 58 yards for the score. Carson King's 2nd touchdown reception of the ball game puts him at 165 receiving yards today. Does he have 3 receiving touchdowns? Extra point up and good. Buckaroos lead 28-18 on the Station on Main scoreboard, and we'll be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Serving Wyoming since 1941, Plains Tire is Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer with great locations throughout the state. They'll get you the right tires that offer the best results for your vehicle at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Plus, you can go to any Plains Tire Pro dealer with their nationwide warranty service. And check out their Plains Tire phone app.
Come down and see us at Plains Tires on 157 Bear River Drive for all your automotive needs. Hablamos también español.
It's been a game of turnarounds. The Rebels had a chance to tie or take a lead earlier. An interception at the goal line, and then one play later, 80-yard touchdown pass hatched to Dylan Bird, made it 21-6. Just moments ago, the Rebels had great field position. The drive stalled, interception, and one play later, a 58-yard touchdown pass to Carson King. Rebels receive the kickoff. Riker Conk at the 30, starts upfield, bounces to his left toward the middle of the field to the 40, and he's brought down there about the 41-yard line. So Rich will have good field position near the 40. Trailing 28-18 on the Station on Main scoreboard. 141 left in the Town of Randolph third quarter. Let me do some quick math here. 58 and 24. A flag on the play. 2, 5, and 2 is 7, 8. Wow. 282 passing yards for Devin Hatch with 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. That was his first pass, was an interception. And since then, he's gone 13 of 22, 282 yards, 3 touchdowns. So inadvertent face mask on the Buckaroos. Just 5 yards. Gives Rich the football at its own 46. Carrillo back to throw. Rolls right, heaves it deep down the right sideline. He's got Hoffaker open, but the throw too long and incomplete. Carrillo 0 for his last 3 after that touchdown pass. Completed a 10-yard pass, but then incompletion and interception and an incompletion. 2nd down and 10 for the Rebels at their own 46-yard line. Third quarter. 1:35 left in the Town of Randolph third. Monticello showing some pressure up the middle. Carrillo steps back, looking to throw. He's got a couple guys over the middle, throws, and it's picked off again. Carson King with the interception. Carrillo was looking for Connor Greer, and the throw just too short, or didn't lead Greer enough downfield. And Carrillo throws his 2nd interception in 3 attempts to give Monticello the football. Carson King with his 2nd interception, plus he has 2 receiving touchdowns today. Monticello 1st and 10 from its own 35-yard line. Town of Randolph third quarter, 1:04 left to go. And the Buckaroos looked like they'd taken the field, then go back, and the official indicates a change to the clock. 1:18 left in the Town of Randolph third quarter. Rebels losing the turnover battle. That was one of our Epic Recreation keys of the game. Bunch left, trips out to that wide side of the field. Buckaroos attacking left to right. Throw out there, and caught by Carson King. He doesn't get much. The Rebels bottle him up quickly, and it's a short gain to the 36, maybe the 37. King dancing around, made some nice moves, but couldn't free himself up. A 2-yard gain. They'll spot it at the 37. Hatch out to his right, looking to throw. Tucks it and runs, and he's hit hard. Spun down at the 39-yard line. That spin by Hatch kind of freed him up from getting hit hard, and he picked up 2. Just his 3rd carry of the day, 0 yards. He lost 3, then gained 1 and gained 2. 3rd down and 6. Buckaroos lead 28-18. This will be the final play of the Town of Randolph third quarter, most likely. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Ball on the right hash. Hatch runs and rolls to his left. He's got some room, and he'll tuck it and run. He's got the first down and more. Across midfield, hit hard by Colton Hislop at the 45-yard line. Boy, Hatch was hammered, but picked up the first down to the Rebel 44-yard line. Boy, that was a 17-yard run on a 3rd and 6. A big gain. Moves the chains, and we will get one more play in this Town of Randolph third quarter. 10.6 seconds left in the third, and Hatch was hit out of bounds. He's a bit slow to come back onto the field after getting the play from Coach Anderson, running a little gingerly. And Hatch from the shotgun. Again, twins to the left. Quick throw out there. It's caught, bobbled, and the Rebels wrap it up, bottle it up quickly. I think that was Hiram Johnson on the reception. It looked like a 34 or an 84 as I saw a mass of bodies. It was Hiram Johnson with the reception. A loss of a yard takes us to the end of the third quarter. We'll be right back. This Town of Randolph third quarter comes to a close with Monticello up 28-18.
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and for the 3rd year in a row, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 100 for quality as well as best practices and critical access, with a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. So, when it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
When you want something custom built for your home, farm and ranch, vehicle, or trailer, it needs to be done with precision, be strong, and be affordable. Get all this and more when you work with the Steel Shop at Ellingford Brothers. You bring the plan or idea, and they'll make it a reality. The Steel Shop sells and installs vehicle accessories like bull bars, running boards, and bed liners. They also specialize in truck and trailer hitches as well. Get it built to last. Ellingford Brothers, 221 County Road in Evanston.
Back to the action. Hatch from the shotgun lofts it deep down the middle of the field. Hiram Johnson can't quite hold on to it. He was open and puts his hands immediately on the sides of his helmet, thinking, man, I should have caught that. That's 6 points. 28-18, the score remains, and Monticello facing a 3rd down and 11 from the Rebel 45-yard line. Buckaroos lead 28-18 on the station on main scoreboard. Hatch runs to his right, then throws deep down the right sideline, and he had Dylan Bird wide open, but overthrew him. I don't know if Dylan cut off the route and Hatch was looking for him to keep going, but either way, it falls incomplete. Hatch, 15 of 27 for 283 yards by my tally. That's unofficial, but I know it's pretty close. From the Rebel 45-yard line, a 4th and 11, and the Buckaroos with the trips right, going for it, leading by 2 scores, 28-18 on the station on main scoreboard. This is the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. Hatch from the shotgun, pressure coming, flushed out to his right. He gets away from pressure, throws, and is caught on the right sideline. A sliding catch by Dylan Bird, just his 3rd reception of the game, but puts him over 100 receiving yards. They spot him down at the 33-yard line. That was a nice route by Bird, and Hatch doing a good job to buy some time with his feet for the 12 yards. First down, and the Buckaroos have a fresh set of downs. Give to Brevin Olson, nowhere to go. He keeps his feet for the moment, and Tough Adair tries to keep him on his feet and push him forward, but he does to the tune of 1 yard to the 32-yard line. Olson, 11 carries, 27 yards in the game. Far from prolific, but it's kept the Rebel defense honest as far as the running game goes. They haven't been able to just sleep on it. Zach Cecil also with 5 carries for 49 yards on the ground. 2nd down and 9. Monticello Buckaroos lead 28-18 in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. Man in motion to the left side. Give Zach Cecil. Starts up the middle, bounces out to the right, and the Rebels meet him at the 30 and drive him down to the turf after a short gain of about 2. So Cecil had gained 15, 17, 11, 8. Then -2, and on this carry, they'll spot him at the 29-yard line. So a gain of 3 puts him at 52 yards on 6 carries. 10:34 left to go. Rebels defense needs a stop. The official from this Rebels sideline The line judge comes in, stops, asks for a clock stoppage, and he thinks he might see some blood on Devin Hatch's left hand. Is that what they're looking at? This fourth quarter is brought to you by Bear Lake Realty, the most experienced and highest volume realtor in the Bear Lake area. They send the Buckaroos over to the sideline. The entire team heads that direction. The Rebels defense stays in its spot, and the clock stopped at 10:32. Now the Buckaroos come back out, and is Hatch does not come back out on the line or out to the field. Backup quarterback is freshman number 12, Javelin Robinson. And the Buckaroos huddle up. Robinson threw 5 interceptions in the JV half of game. So I doubt that we're going to see the Buckaroos throw here. We'll see. Robinson this season in varsity action, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Takes the snap and gives to Zach Cecil. He is hit hard and finds his momentum forward back to the line of scrimmage at the 29. Colton Hislop came away with the football before whistles even blew, but they say no, play was over. Monticello football. 29-yard line, so no gain for Zach Cecil. And does Devin Hatch get back into the game? He does. Gets the play from Coach Reed Anderson. The team huddles up for a 4th down and 6. They converted a 4th down with a 12-yard passing play just on the last series. And the Buckaroos holding a 10-point lead with time running under 10 minutes in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter, 28-18. Monticello leads on the station on main scoreboard. Hatch sends King in motion, takes the snap, fakes the throw out there to King, then throws deep down the left sideline. He's got Cedar English at the 10, catches down to the 6-yard line, and that's where the Rebels stop him. 2 defenders there, but not close enough to prevent the catch. Cedar English all the way down to the 6, and a 23-yard pass and catch. Cedar English with his 3rd catch of the day. Has 48 receiving yards. Boy. First down and goal. Hatch under center. Rolls to his right. Pressure comes. He flings it high into the back corner of the end zone. King catches it. Did he stay in? Yes, he did. What a catch by Carson King. And that ball, boy, that was a skyrocket from Devin Hatch. He threw it where if King didn't catch it, nobody would, and King did the rest. A 6-yard touchdown pass and catch. Carson King's 3rd touchdown catch of the day, 173 receiving yards. Hatch's 4th touchdown pass of the day. Boy, what a day for Devin Hatch. The snap, the kick after the hold was good. The PAT is good. 35-18, Rebels in a hole with 9:17 left in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. We'll be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
If the idea of owning your own home in beautiful Bear Lake sounds like more than your finances can handle, visit the experts at Bear Lake Realty to learn how you can make it happen. Gary and Amber McKee at Bear Lake Realty can show you how to buy a home and rent it out, so it pays for itself while you enjoy it some of the time as well. And soon, you'll have your own place in the Caribbean of the Rockies. No one knows the market better, and no one else serves you better than Bear Lake Realty.
$9:17 left in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter, and a 12-play, 65-yard drive that took almost 5 minutes off the clock. Let's see, 1:18 left in the third quarter when Monticello took possession of that football, and they run off 2 minutes and 43 seconds. So that was a 3-minute, 1-second drive. PAT good. The Buckaroos 5 for 5 on extra point conversions. Wilson fields it at the 20, fakes a handoff right, keeps it himself to the 30, spun down and shoved out at about the 34-yard line. And so Rich takes over, trailing by 17, 35-18 on the station on main scoreboard. Rich needs 3 scores, and they've got to find a way to stop this Monticello offense, specifically the passing game. Devin Hatch, 18 of 30, 324 yards and 4 touchdowns with 1 pick. Unofficially, those are my numbers. Rich from its own 35-yard line, looking at 65 yards and needing to score 3 times. Carrillo under center. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Huffaker in motion to the left side. Snap and misdirection. Give to Wilson, right side. He dances forward across the 40 to about the 41. He stood up and driven down to the ground. Wilson picks up a few. We're going to need to see some urgency here with time down under 9 minutes in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. They spot him at the 41. A 6-yard gain puts Wilson at 12 carries for 52 yards. Rebel volleyball in action tonight at Tabiona. We wish them the best of luck. They'll be back home next Thursday hosting the North Summit Braves. We'll tell you more about that in a moment. 2nd down and 4 for the Rebel offense. 2 receivers left, 2 right again. Carrillo sends Wilson in motion and takes the snap. Gives to Hislop. Nothing up the middle. Bounces left side. Splits a couple defenders and is just shy of the first down at the 44-yard line. 3-yard gain for Hislop. 12 carries, 35 yards. Next Thursday night at Rich High School, the Rebels invite you to come out and for the Swing for Life game. It's a pink out at Rich High School as Rich celebrates the senior night for volleyball with a silent auction and raffle, and all proceeds go to breast cancer research. Wear pink. They invite you to be out there next Thursday. Big 3rd down and 1 for the Rebels. From its own 44-yard line, Carrillo sends Wilson in motion, takes the snap and drives up the middle. He's got the first down. Just barely, not much more. But that's been the Rebels' most successful play on a 3rd or 4th and short. Carrillo out to the 46-yard line for a first down and a little bit extra. Riley has 11 carries for 104 yards in this game by my count. And he's going to need a bunch more if Rich is going to come back in this one. They've also got to do it quick with under 7.5 minutes. Well, just about. We're at 7:35 left to go in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter, and Rich trails 35-18 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Carrillo with 2 receivers left, 2 right. Hislop behind him, and he's under center. Takes the snap, back, looks to throw. Out to the left side. He's got Wilson caught left sideline, broke a tackle, but he's out of bounds. First down and a little bit more. That'll stop the clock at 7:18. And it feels funny to talk about clock usage so much at this point, but Rich has to be aware of that, trailing by 3 scores. That was down to the 42-yard line of Monticello. So that's 8 plus 4, 12-yard gain, and puts Carrillo over the century mark in yards passing with 106 on 8 of 18, but 3 interceptions and the touchdown. Wilson with 59 receiving yards on 4 catches. Wilson in motion, trips to the right. Carrillo takes the snap and gives to Hislop. A lot of pressure. He bounces out to the left side, and one man brings him down at the 40. If Hislop could have gotten past him, it would have been a nice big gain, maybe a first down and more, but a good tackle out on the left side. Hislop picks up 3 to the 39. Clock continues to run, under 7 minutes to go in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. And the Rebels at the Buckaroos, 39. Fourth quarter brought to you by Bear Lake Realty. Rebels need a couple of pro physical therapy touchdowns, and they've got to convert those Rich County 4-H extra points. Some McKay Frankham Dental Services precision plays also going to be necessary down the stretch. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Carrillo back to throw. Pressure comes. He rolls out. He's got Huffaker. If he can get rid of it, he does. Stetson makes the catch, bobbles it on the sideline, but pulls it in at the 21. Huffaker had it go through his hands, but he held on to it, and then the second effort pulled it in. Carrillo comes up in some pain. Huffaker stepped out of bounds at the 21. That was an 18-yard pass and catch. Puts Huffaker at 35 receiving yards with the touchdown. Carrillo is out for the moment. Jaden Rao into the game as a running back, as Huffaker will step into the quarterback position. And Carrillo on the sideline. We'll see if Bear Lake Physical Therapy can help things out quick. High formation behind Huffaker. Stetson takes the snap and gives to Kyler Wilson, right side, and he just couldn't quite break a tackle. Carson King held him back. If he gets past King, I think Wilson would have scored, but he does get out of bounds to stop the clock at 5:52. And just about moved the chains. He looks like maybe he did pick up the Comprehensive Family Dental first down to the 11. A 10-yard run for Kyler Wilson puts him at 69 yards on 5 carries and moves those chains. Did not actually stop the clock. They just stopped it to move the chains. My mistake. Huffaker with I formation behind him. Stetson under center, takes the snap and gives to Wilson. Nothing up the middle, bounces out right side and dives to the 6. Brought down with 5:30 left to go in the ball game. They'll spot Wilson down actually at about the 8-yard line. Boy, it looked like he dove further than that, but just a 3-yard carry. Time running out, 35-18. Rebels trail on the station on main scoreboard. Carrillo back in there. Trips to the left. Hislop behind Carrillo under center. One man wide right is Jaden Grohl. Carrillo takes the snap, rolls, runs to his left. Tons of pressure, and he's wrapped up and brought down. They cut off the pitch, man. What a play by Tough Adair. And I think Nicholas Lundell, no, that couldn't be. Rebels take a timeout with 4:45 left in this fourth quarter, trailing 35-18 on the station on main scoreboard. We'll take a quick timeout as well and be right back.
This is Rich Rebel Senior, Bridger Weston, and you are watching Rich High School football on Rebel Radio and mylocalradio.com.
Super kids deserve super care. Experience the difference with board-certified pediatricians Alan Brown, MD, and Bird Gilmartin, MD, at Uinta Medical Group. Whether it's tracking your child's overall health at Well Child Checks or helping your little ones feel better when they're sick, Dr. Brown and Dr. Gilmartin are here to help your child grow, learn, and thrive. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Brown or Dr. Gilmartin by calling 307-789-WELL 9355 or visit evanstonanytime.com.
Quickly back out after the timeout in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. Rich faces a 3rd and 13. Carrillo went out injured, came back moments ago, and was sacked. Trips to the left on a 3rd down and 13, ball in the left hash. Riley looks left, looks right. Defense is covered. He looks back to his right, throws back in the end zone. Connor Greer makes the catch with his toes on the back line or just inside the back line for the touchdown. What a grab by Connor Greer, 15 yards for the touchdown. And Riley Carrillo delivers a perfect pass, lobbed it up over the defense and dropped it in where only Connor Greer could get it. What a toss. And Rich goes 10 plays, 65 yards for the score. Do they go for 2 here? Either way, if they don't convert, they'd be down by 11, which is a touchdown and a field goal. If they do convert, they're down by 9, which is still 2 scores. So Rich will go for 2. I formation behind Carrillo. The 2-point conversion attempt brought to you by Rich County 4-H, empowering young people with the skills to lead for a lifetime. And Wilson is stuffed. Fumbled the football, and the Buckaroos recover on the turf. 35-24 on the station on main scoreboard. Rich 0 for 4 on extra point attempts tonight. That touchdown brought to you by Pro Physical Therapy and physical therapist Dr. Dallas Clark. The Rebels had scored 5 touchdowns coming into this game. They've scored 4 in this one, but trail 35-24 on the station on main scoreboard. 4:38 left in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. That drive, I mean, Rich needed to put some points on the board. From a time standpoint, they needed to do it a little more quickly. They took almost 5 minutes off the clock for that drive. 4 minutes and, 17 plus 22 is 39 seconds on that drive. 10 plays, 65 yards. And that was Carrillo to Greer. Connor Greer with his first touchdown catch as a Rich Rebel football player. He had 5 catches, 116 yards coming into the game, but that's his first touchdown. I've got Carrillo at, 10 of 20 for 124, 139, and 2 touchdowns, but the 3 interceptions. Rebels have thrown 4 interceptions. Stetson Huffaker threw one as well on a trick play. Justin Adams in there to the far side. If you're watching online at mylocalradio.com, watch for Rich to run an onside kick attempt here. Huffaker gets the whistle. Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff. He approaches, and then Flint Silva kicks it. It bounces around. It's still on the turf, still loose, and then the Buckaroos, I think, fell on it at their own 40-yard line. Rebels got there. That ball just trailed off instead of taking the bounce the Rebels needed it to. and Monticello will take over at its own 40-yard line. Rebels, on the opening Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff, had Justin Adams come in and try the onside kick. Monticello recovered that one. Rich went with a little trickery here in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter and had a chance but couldn't get it. They say every 1 in 3 onside kicks is recovered by the kicking team, so if Rich gets another chance, statistics would say they might recover or would recover. Hatch from the shotgun, 2 receivers right, 2 wide left. Takes the snap, gives to Cecil. Nowhere! Rebels bottle him up and stuff it. He'll lose a few back to the 38-yard line. Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. Rich can't use its timeouts. They cannot allow Monticello to pick up a first down, or they simply will just run out of time. So a loss of 2 back to the 38. Zach Cecil, 8 carries, 50 yards in the ball game, 51 on his first 4 carries, but he's gone for -4 on his last 4. Low snap, Hatch goes down to get it. Takes a roll to his right as he's flushed out. Heaves it deep down the right sideline, and Silva can't get it. Cedar English has it. Silva cut under the football and just misjudged it. Cedar English makes the catch at the Rebel 27-yard line. 23-12, that's a 35-yard pass and catch to Cedar English. Cedar's 4th reception of the day. And my goodness, Devin Hatch with 359 passing yards plus 4 touchdowns. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdowns. Goodness gracious. Cedar English with 83 receiving yards. Hatch on a 1st and 10 from the shotgun. Swings it quickly out to Carson King, right side. Rebels, he does a good job to not go out of bounds. Huffaker tackles him behind the line of scrimmage. But we're down to under 3.5 left in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter, and Rich is forced to take a timeout. The official indicated that Monticello, just a mistake on that official's part. 3:20 left to go in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. We'll take a quick break and be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
If the idea of owning your own home in beautiful Bear Lake sounds like more than your finances can handle, visit the experts at Bear Lake Realty to learn how you can make it happen. Gary and Amber McKee at Bear Lake Realty can show you how to buy a home and rent it out, so it pays for itself while you enjoy it some of the time as well. And soon, you'll have your own place in the Caribbean of the Rockies. No one knows the market better, and no one else serves you better than Bear Lake Realty.
A 2nd down and 10. Welcome back to the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left to go, and the Rebels trail 35-24 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Final game of the regular season. Rich looking to pick up its first win. Quick give to Brevin Olson, stuffed. That's what the Rebel defense needed. See some Rebel coaches here on this near sideline down in front of us celebrating that quick tackle, and Brevin Olson actually lost 2. He's at 12 carries for 25 yards. Clock continues to run. Rebels have to be judicious about when they use their timeouts here. They've got to get a stop here. A Monticello first down, and I think this one is over. It would just be nails in the coffin the rest of the way for Monticello. Trips to the right side, to the left side in a little bunch. Hatch rolls to his left on the shotgun, throws incomplete. He overthrew Carson King and does the Rebels a favor, stopping the clock on the incompletion. But it's 4th down and 12. The last time Monticello had 4th down, they converted. In fact, they converted 2 4th downs on their last possession that ended with a 12-play, 65-yard drive and a touchdown. So Rich needs to find a way to stop the Buckaroos here. Rebels will be on the road next week for the play-in round of the 2A playoffs. Senior day for the Rebels. Comes down to this, 35-24. Rich still needs 2 scores, but they have to get a stop here or this one's over. Trips to the right, Hatch in the shotgun. 1 man wide to the left is Cedar English. Hatch takes the snap, looks left. He looks for English, lofted down the left sideline, and Connor Greer defending. Boy, if anything, that's a pass interference on the offense. Greer had a good shot at it, couldn't make the catch, but a good thing because it results in a turnover on downs and better field position than had Connor Greer caught it. And maybe that's what Greer was thinking, make sure to knock it down. Turnover on downs gives Rebels at least, or keeps that hope alive for the Rebels. Rich takes over from its own 29-yard line. Fourth quarter, brought to you by Bear Lake Realty. 2:39 left to go on the regular season. Riley Carrillo, 10 of 20, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks in the game. Rebels have turned it over 5 times in this football game. You take those 5 turnovers away, and maybe Rich has a lead, but of course can't do that. I formation behind Carrillo, under center, 2 receivers left, Flint Silva wide right. Takes the snap, looks to his right, pressure comes, and he has nothing. Cedar English, boy, he was unblocked and came in hot. The Rebels, Riley Carrillo dropped back at the 21, a loss of 8 on the first sack of the day for this Monticello Buckaroos defense. They came into the game with about 26 sacks on the season, but that was their first in this game. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter, and Rich facing a second down and 19. Carrillo with 2 receivers right, 2 left. Hislop back there blocking, throws out to his left side, and it's tipped, and Wilson catches it at the 40, down the left sideline. Couldn't break a tackle to midfield. It was the tip drill, and Wilson makes the catch, clear out to the 48, a 27-yard pass and catch from Carrillo to Kyler Wilson. They'll spot it, yes, at the 48-yard line, and the Rebels move the chains. Carrillo, 11 of 21 for 166 yards. First and 10 for the Rebels. Comprehensive Family Dental first down. Carrillo back to throw. Pressure coming. He gets a huge block from Hislop. Throws, and it's caught by Huffaker. Right sideline. Carson King made the tackle and then stays down holding his right knee. That'll stop the clock at 1:35 left to go in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. And what a block by Colton Hislop. That may be your precision play of the game. Brought to you by McKay Frankham Dental Services, as he saved his quarterback from getting hit from behind. King, that was Huffaker on the catch. And we'll move the chains. They spot it at the 41-yard line. That was a an 11-yard passing catch. Injury on the field. We'll take a quick timeout and be right back here in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter.
If the idea of owning your own home in beautiful Bear Lake sounds like more than your finances can handle, visit the experts at Bear Lake Realty to learn how you can make it happen. Gary and Amber McKee at Bear Lake Realty can show you how to buy a home and rent it out, so it pays for itself while you enjoy it some of the time as well. And soon, you'll have your own place in the Caribbean of the Rockies. No one knows the market better, and no one else serves you better than Bear Lake Realty.
Carson King helped up and walking off on his own. As soon as he made that tackle on Huffaker, he held his right knee, and he's showing tenderness on his right leg, not wanting to put a lot of pressure on that right leg, and making his way slowly off the field. The Rebels take advantage of the opportunity to get the play called, get up to the line of scrimmage, and get set, because as soon as the official blows the whistle, the clock will start to run with 1:35 left to go in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. Rebels have to score, get the ball back, and score again, trailing by 11, 35-24 on the Station on Main scoreboard. But hope's still alive. Huffaker on the right side. He's the slot man. Hislop behind Carrillo under center. Riley takes the snap, rolls back, and the pressure comes. They hit him from behind. Monticello bringing some heat late, and they've gotten 2 sacks on this possession, on this drive alone, after no sacks through the first 3 quarters and 9 minutes of the game. A second sack right there, back, loss of 9. Carrillo back to throw. Pressure comes again. He breaks from the initial pressure, and then tough Adair brings him down at the 49, and Rich has to call and burn another timeout. 1:01 left to go. Carrillo broke 1 tackle and got to the 49, a gain of 1. But again, the pressure getting into the backfield. Riley with 98 rushing yards, but he's been sacked twice for -17. Rebels take a timeout with 1:01, 61 seconds left to go in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter, and Monticello leading 35-24. Buckaroos came into this game at 5-3. The Rebels 0-7. The North Summit last night beat Kanab 20-7. Tonight's games feature Beaver at Parowan, Milford at North Sevier, and Millard at Enterprise. Duchesne has a bye this week. We'll see what Coach Justin Grohl has dialed up as the Rebels come out of the timeout, looking for something big. Make sure to join us. Stay tuned for our Epic Recreation post-game show, which will include the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap and the Stacy's Repair post-game diagnostics interview with Coach Justin Grohl. Carrillo under center for a 3rd down and 19. Riley takes the snap, gets a little protection this time, throws out to the left. It looked like Rich was looking for the hook and lateral, but the throw a bit high for Connor Greer, in and out of his hands, and Rich faces 4th down and the ball game. Carrillo, 12 of 23 for $177, 2 touchdowns and 3 picks in the game. He's got 5 touchdowns on the season and needs 2 more if the Rebels are going to win today. We've had a cloudy and cool afternoon in Randolph. I guess for this time of year, it's been pretty nice. The wind was blowing pretty hard. 4th down and 19. Trips to the left side. Flint Silva on the right. Carrillo back to throw. Pressure comes. He steps up away from it. He's got to get rid of it. Tries to run right, and he'll be brought down. Zach Cecil on the tackle, and that essentially ends the ball game right there as the Rebels turn it over on downs at the 49-yard line. No gain for Carrillo, and Monticello could take a knee once, twice, and finish this football game with a 35-24 win on the Station on Main scoreboard. Too many turnovers today for the Rich Rebels. 4 interceptions plus the fumble. That's 5 giveaways and a couple of turnovers on downs. Monticello takes over at its own 49-yard line, needing to just take 2 knees. Or take a knee twice. And how about Devin Hatch today? 20 of 34, 359 yards, 4 touchdowns. He threw his first pass was an interception, but since then, he was just about, well, not perfect, but pretty close. After that interception, 20 of 33 for 359 and 4 touchdowns. Hatch in the shotgun, tight formation, 2 receivers tight left, 2 tight right. And he takes the snap and takes a slow, delicious knee at his own 43-yard line. In victory formation for the Buckaroos, that's a shotgun. What's the difference, losing 2 or losing 5 in this kind of situation? Hatch back to the 44. With that, Hatch down to 7 rushing yards on 6 carries. He's taken a knee twice for a loss of 10. One more time, and that's the ball game. Rebels put up a great effort today. Hislop showing some pressure up the middle, but Hatch takes a knee before Colton can get there. Back at the 39, another loss of 5. Ends the ball game. Devin Hatch, 20 of 34, 359 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 pick. The son of a former Rich Rebel hands it to the Rebels today with 359 passing yards and a 35-24 victory for the Monticello Buckaroos. Monticello improves to 6-4 this season, and in their history, 359 and 286. Rebels drop to 0-8, and in the history of Rich Rebel football, 213 and 158. But more importantly for Monticello, they give themselves a possible opportunity to move up in the RPI, and possibly, boy, if they could move up a spot or 2, they might be able to host a first-round game in the play-in round of the state playoffs. 35-24, the final. Stay tuned. Our Epic Recreation post-game show when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net.
What could be better than a fresh, mouth-watering burger from the Crawford Trough in Randolph? Top it with cheese and thick-cut bacon, or throw in some mushrooms and make it a double. Now we're talking. Add home-cut fries and a creamy shake, and you might just think you're in paradise. With crisp salads and tasty wraps, plus onion rings, perfectly cooked chicken, cold drinks, and silky smooth ice cream, the Crawford Trough is the place to eat and drink at 120 South Main in Randolph. Welcome back to Rich High School and the Epic Recreation postgame show. For all your rentals in Bear Lake, visit epicrecreation.net and make your vacation an epic one to remember. Time for the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. Jimmy John's at 113 Front Street in Evanston, where fresh and fast meet. Rebels in the final game of the regular season hosting the Monticello Buckaroos, and Rich hoping for a victory against the Buckaroos, and started things off well. They intercepted the second pass, or the second play of the game, intercepted Devin Hatch, Jaden Rao with the pick, but then 2 plays later, the Rebels fumbled it away, gave it right back, and Monticello took advantage. They went 7 plays, 62 yards, and scored to make it 7-0. Couple of possessions later, Rebels put together a nice drive, 6 plays, 61 yards, and scored to make it 7-6. Scoring went back and forth at the half. Monticello led 21-12. Rich cut that deficit to 3 right at the beginning of the third quarter, but one of the issues today for Rich was failed conversion, point after touchdown conversions. They went 0 for 4 and on 2-point conversion attempts. Monticello put in 2 more touchdowns in the second half. Rich came back, had a chance at the end, but just failed on a fourth down. Turned it over on downs late, went trying to drive down and score, and ended up losing 35-24 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Devin Hatch of Monticello, the quarterback, 20 of 34 for 359 yards, 4 touchdowns with 1 pick. And the Buckaroos get the win 35-24 on the Station on Main scoreboard. That's your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. Jimmy John's at 113 Front Street in Evanston, where they spend 6 hours daily slicing all natural meats for your 30-second sandwich. Fresh meats and fresh produce from Jimmy John's. All right, let's move right along in the Epic Recreation postgame show. Joining us is Coach Justin Grohl on the Stacy's Repair postgame diagnostics. Coach, the offense came alive today.
You know, they did well. We really moved the ball. I don't know how many yards, but we seemed to be able to move it, and we blocked, and we was really successful on offense. You know, there was a few things that we struggled once in a while. We didn't do what we were supposed to, but for the most part, yeah, we had probably the best game offensively of the whole season.
The last few games, the turnover bug has bit you guys like the flu, and it just keeps sticking around. Today, I think 5 turnovers, the 4 picks, the 1 fumble. If you could take those away, this is a different ball game.
You know, and we've, like you said, we've struggled with that all year long. I think the 1 fumble that kind of hurt us to begin with, and then you know the picks. Sometimes that's kind of desperation stuff towards the end and that. So it wasn't the greatest, but we got to do a lot better on curbing that. We can't just have lots of the turnovers. You know, we tried to win the turnover battle this week, and that was what one of our goals was, and we just didn't get it accomplished.
Some positives for sure, though. When today, by far. When Carrillo dropped back to pass, the protection was there. That was by far the best pass protection this season, wasn't it, Coach?
Yeah, they didn't blitz as much as most teams do,
yeah.
And that helped us. If we can keep them in front, well, that's pretty good. We still have to work on the pass protection with the blitz, and that's what we have struggled in the past. And when they started blitzing really heavily, you know, they got to us, and so we had to. That was a couple of the problems.
Another positive, the run blocking pretty good today. I thought you guys ran the ball well.
Yeah, we moved the ball with the run. There was some good decisions. There was once in a while there was not a great decision, but for the most part, the quarterback and the backs and that run really hard. And Riley did his decision making. After the first couple of times and he got settled down, he'd run the bell and he made some good decisions, and that's what we're looking for out of him.
Monticello had a lot of success through the air, and part of that was because you guys stuffed what they wanted to do running the ball, especially early on.
Yeah, you know, if you go back and look at things, they had some really big plays. Almost every touchdown come off of some sort of a really big play, and that's one of the things we let down, and we gotta work on.
Coach, so the 0-8 season with the loss here today against Monticello. Next week, you'll be on the road, likely based on how the RPI comes out, right? At Millard or Duchesne, probably one of those two teams. Any idea?
I'm pretty sure it'll probably be Millard. Duchesne will probably end up with the bye. I'm sure. I haven't looked at who they're playing, but Duchesne had jumped over Millard last time, so I'm pretty sure it'll be Millard, and we'll probably be playing down there.
Looks like they'll release RPI. Was it tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.?
Yeah.
Then you'll know who it will be. But either way,
actually,
it's the Eagles probably, right?
Yeah, it's going to be Saturday.
Saturday.
Saturday at 9 is what they said. So we'll. I'm sure it's going to be the Eagles down there. We'll have to travel there and finish it.
Things that I guess you'll watch some film and see some definite things to improve on. But how do you prepare for something like that? Is it a different preparation from the regular season games to one and done? If we win, we move on. If we lose, we're out.
Yeah, we got to have a different mindset. It's urgency.
Yeah.
That's what we got to start preparing for, is urgency, because one loss, next loss, and everybody's done. So it was one of those things that we just got to prepare and teach the kids. Okay, we got to prepare for urgency a little bit sooner than okay, maybe next game. We got to think about this game and have it the most important one right now.
I hate to take so much of your time. Do you have one more question? Is this so? You lose 35-24, but you scored 4 touchdowns. You did some good things defensively against their run. Is this an encouraging loss based on what you see overall?
We did some good things, and we're pretty underclass. We have a lot of underclassmen playing, so it gives them a lot of experience. We're going to look at some big things out of them next year. There's going to be quite a few. We're going to have a lot of juniors that we're playing, a lot of sophomores that we're playing that will jump up, and they've had the experience. And so now it's not okay, we got to wait maybe next year. Now it's urgency on their part.
Yeah.
This is it. So we're looking for some bigger things next year, and looking for them to step up.
Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Ryan.
Justin Grohl, thanks so much. Good luck. We'll get ready for next week in the playoffs, the play-in game. Coach Justin Grohl, again, thank you so much. On the Stacy's Repair post-game diagnostics, need a repair, take it to the ones who truly care. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back with more of the Epic Recreation post-game show on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
When T7 Propane in Woodruff, Utah is your propane supplier, you get reliable, safe, and professional propane service. And that's not all. T7 Propane offers years of expertise, quality product, and the most responsive propane service in the area. For home or other heating needs, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for professional or business propane needs. Call 435-793-4208. That's 435-793-4208.
Is it time to stop wishing for your dream home in beautiful Bear Lake? If you're ready to make your dream a reality, Bear Lake Realty can help. With residential and land listings, including vacation properties, timeshares, cabins, condos, beachfront, lake view, and more, Bear Lake Realty has what you're looking for. And with more than 30 years of real estate experience in the area, you know you're working with the best. Visit bearlakerealty.com and come and enjoy the Caribbean of the Rockies with us.
You rely on your vehicle every day. Make sure your ride gets the best service, repairs, and maintenance possible. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff provides the highest quality, the latest technology, and the newest equipment to give your vehicle the absolute best auto care available. Family owned and operated since 1992, your friends at Stacy's Repair promise to always deliver value and outstanding, honest, and knowledgeable service, regardless of repair size or difficulty. Stacy's Repair, the ones who truly care.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on mylocalradio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports boosters, the Wilson Ranch in Randolph. Good luck, Rebels, from Dale, Kim, Kyler, and Casey. Remember, the harder you work, the more good luck you'll have. And by Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot, Feed and Supply, a custom shop specializing in leather and wood goods with a farm feed and supply store to boot. proudly supporting the Rich Rebels, the Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot Feed and Supply Store.
Back on the postgame show, brought to you by Epic Recreation. For all your rentals in Bear Lake, visit epicrecreation.net. You can also find them on Facebook. If you're spending any time in the Bear Lake area and you need rentals, whether it be down on the lake, up in the hills, the side-by-side, the ATVs, motorbikes, all kinds of items. If you have any rentals and need to in your recreation up in Bear Lake, visit epicrecreation.net or find them on Facebook. 35-24 the final score. Some quick post-game highlights and stats. We visited with Coach Grohl on the post-game diagnostics, brought to you by Stacy's Repair. We've got your Western Night Credit Roundup calendar coming up. Tonight's broadcast is also brought to you by The Store, clothing and more, in the Monkey Shines strip mall next to the laundromat. Rebels finished ahead with 365 yards of offense, 188 in the running game, and 98 of those were from Riley Carrillo. Check that. 81 of those. He was sacked twice for a 17-yard loss. And so finishes 16 carries, 81 yards, and the touchdown, plus 177 yards through the air for Carrillo. Kyler Wilson, 13 carries, 56 yards. Colton Hislop, 13 carries, 38 yards. And Wilson, also the leading receiver tonight, 7 receptions, 97 yards. No touchdowns. Stetson Huffaker had a touchdown reception, as did Connor Greer, a 15-yard touchdown reception in the second half. I've got Monticello with 427 yards of offense, 68 on the ground, but 359 through the air. The son of a rich Rebel, Devin Hatch, 20 of 34, 359 yards, 4 touchdowns with 1 interception. And the Buckaroos finished with 427 yards of offense. Rich turned it over 5 times, and that killed him in this one, a 35-24 loss against the Buckaroos. We'll tell you a little bit more about it, and we'll have the Western Night Credit Roundup calendar coming up. But first, it's time for the Rebel Sports Update. We'll hear from Rich Rebel Cross Country coach. The Rebel Cross Country team was at the region meet this past Tuesday, and John Scott came away with a region championship individually. We'll hear more about it right now with Rich High School cross country coach Aaron Worthland. Thanks so much for your time today, Coach.
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to talk to you.
You had the region cross country meet on Tuesday, and I want to talk about that and kind of the season culminating to that. Of course, you got the state race next week, but I think we should touch first with how did you guys do Tuesday?
The boys came with a very strong mindset. They were prepped, and I think that made a big difference over the last couple of months. There's been a lot of work put into getting them mentally prepared. I think that's really what it comes down to. A lot of it's that mental preparation, because their bodies are able to withstand quite a bit as long as we've prepped them. So when we went into the race, we came in with the idea that first and second was within reach, and Manila actually showed up with some runners that I didn't know about. So they did extremely well. They ended up taking first. We did take second behind them, and then Tabiona took third. But overall, every boy had their PR, so personal record, this week, which was fantastic, seeing how a few of them have ran for at least a year, if not a few years, and that makes a big impact. So just a couple mentions before we go too far. We were extremely impressed as we look at Matthew Jessen, who from last year to this year cut in his region time about 6 minutes off of his time, which is extremely impressive for a cross-country race. And then John Scott, who this was his first year running cross-country ever, came across as number 1 and running a 16:47, which is a very fast 3-mile race. So overall, we're very proud of the boys, and no girls this year, so our boys team has done extremely well, and really excited for state next week.
John was pretty confident in being able to win that race, and then the time that you said he ran in, boy, that's impressive.
It was, yeah, especially at 1A level. I was talking to him today and mentioned Adam Bunker from last year, who ran a 16:31 at state, which is very impressive. A 16:31 at state would be very difficult for John to get. He actually told me, he said if he runs the 16 below 17 at state, he says, I'm going to be throwing up on the way home. So that may be the option, but I know that they'll push themselves really hard. So yeah, they have so far, and I'm excited.
So considering what you've done this year with the boys, the second place finish at region, the region champ individually, and the different meets that you've gone to, the 2 or 3 of them, How do you feel like you guys are prepared for next week's state race?
State is difficult to prepare for, but I feel we're in a very good place right now. I feel like the athletes are getting to a point where they are peaking. So we try to direct a lot of the efforts and practices to getting them to peak region and state, so that's where their optimum ability is during those two races. So we'll see. Last year it didn't end up exactly how I wanted it to. They peaked really well at region, and then when we got to state, we kind of dove down. So hopefully with a few changes from practice this year, hopefully that'll help a lot. And then however we do in state this year, hopefully we can jump right on the wagon and keep prepping for track and then cross country again next year.
What is the state course like? Is it similar to the region course? Is it a lot different, hills, things like that?
State course is going to be a little more difficult. I told the boys, I said, you're likely to look at about a minute slower than your race, but we're still going to push. And for John, though, something that I didn't mention to him is he didn't compete. I mean, there was no competition. He was first in the outgo, and no one was close enough. So he basically pushed himself along with those cheering and fans pushing him along. But when he has competition around him, especially down in Panguitch with Porter and Luke, I think it will make a big difference for him. He'll be pushing pretty hard, and I could see him going sub-17 at state if he keeps his mind in it and uses those two as catalysts to help push him along. So I feel like as a team, though, when we get there, the race is definitely harder. There are more hills up and down, and hopefully over the next few days, I can help him understand a little bit more the significance of using the downhill, because uphill is always tough and you need to attack. But if you can use that downhill and come down strong, that makes all the difference in the state race.
Coach, is there anything else you want to touch on?
I can't think of anything else right now. We're really excited for next week. Boys have performed extremely well, and we'll look forward to another good one.
Aaron Worthland, cross-country coach at Rich High School, thanks so much for your time. Congratulations on the individual champ, second place at region, and good luck next week at state.
Thank you, Ryan. We really appreciate it.
This has been your Rebel Sports Update here on the Postgame Show, brought to you by Epic Recreation. Epic Recreation for all your rentals in Bear Lake. Visit epicrecreation.net or find them on Facebook. We'll take one more quick break. Again, our final score, 35-24 tonight. The Monticello Buckaroos with the victory. We'll be right back and give you the Western Ag Credit Roundup calendar. Look ahead at what's coming up tonight in 2A football around the state, and then the rest of the weekend for the Rich Rebels and Rich County sports. That's when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. When it comes to farming and ranching, it makes good sense to work with a lender who understands finance and agriculture. Western Ag Credit is an independent cooperative owned by the farmers and ranchers who borrow from it. With competitive rates, your loan is tailored to match your business needs. Real estate, livestock, equipment, and operating expenses. When it comes to farming and ranching financing, Western Ag Credit in Evanston is your partner in agriculture.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net.
On the Epic Recreation postgame show, the Monticello Buckaroos come into Randolph and lead with a win 35-24 on the station on main scoreboard. The Buckaroos struck first and then held on for the win. Down the stretch, Rebels put together a nice comeback, had some offensively. This was Rich's best game of the season without question. The Rebels had finished with 365 yards of offense in this game. And prior to tonight, the Rebels' best offensive output was, I think, 218 yards of offense against Layton Christian. So a good way to finish for Rich. Of course, could have been better if they'd have been able to pull out the victory. But either way, Rich saw some promising things tonight, and something that Coach Grohl said there toward the end of our interview a few minutes ago was especially, I think, poignant for right now. A lot of underclassmen playing this year, starting for the Rebels, sophomores, juniors, and so some high expectations for next year. As Coach Grohl said, high expectations for those guys looking ahead to next year. You're on the Epic Recreation postgame show, and tonight 2A football continues as Beaver plays at Parowan. All the games down south. North Summit played yesterday. Duchesne has a bye. Of course, Monticello and Rich today, and Layton Christian, they have a bye today as well, I think. Don't they, Rhett? Or this weekend? Layton Christian plays tomorrow. Let me check my schedule here if I can find it real quick. Oh, they do. You're right. They've got Gunnison Valley tomorrow evening. Or tomorrow afternoon at Layton Christian. So that game going on this weekend as well. In the south, Parowan hosts Beaver. North Sevier hosting Milford and Millard at Enterprise. Now, the way things are looking, and based on the most recent RPI ratings prior to the UHSAA pulling those ratings off of their website, it looked like, well, the Rebels will be the 13th team in the ratings and finish last. And it looked like Millard would be the number 4 team with a 16-team bracket. The top 3 teams get a bye. That'll most likely be Beaver, Milford, and Duchesne. And so Rich will likely be on the road next Friday at Millard. Not sure what time that will be, or if for sure or not that will be at Millard. That's speculation. So make sure to tune in Monday morning to our show, Rebel. We'll talk about this game and the Rebels volleyball match tonight at Tabiona. We'll also, I think by then, we should know where the Rebels will play and at what time, and get you prepped for that. That's Monday morning, 10:30 on KNYN 99.1 FM, the Big Dog in Country, our sister station. So that takes us through the rest of this weekend in 2A football. Let's look at the Western Ag Credit Roundup calendar, what's coming up in the rest of Rich County for the weekend. Tomorrow at 8 a.m. in the Rich High School Computer Lab, there's a school city training. So anyone interested in that, that's 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Saturday, if you're interested in Cowboys football, the Wyoming Cowboys have homecoming on Saturday afternoon at War Memorial Stadium, and you can tune in right here to KADQ 98.3 FM for that game with Dave Walsh, Kevin McKinney, and the crew. Pregame starts at 12 noon, again here on 98.3 FM. Looking ahead to next Tuesday, there's a Rich High School board meeting at 6 p.m. Wednesday, the cross-country team heads out to Sugar House Park, the Highland High School there in Salt Lake, Sugar House area, and it's the state cross-country meet beginning at 11:30 a.m. Rebel John Scott, a sophomore or a junior this year, the region champ, and the rest of the team will head down as well for the state race. Also Wednesday night, University of Wyoming football coaches show is at 7:07 p.m. right here on KDQ. Next Thursday, the Rebel volleyball team is hosting the North Summit Braves. Freshmen at 4:30, JV at 5:45, varsity at 7. Our pregame coverage will start at 6:30 Thursday night from here at Rich High School. And the Lady Rebels invite you to come and enjoy the night and swing for life. It's a swing for life game with Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This, of course, in October. The Rebels are celebrating that and trying to raise some money for breast cancer research as well. There's a silent auction and a raffle, and all proceeds will go to breast cancer research. They invite you to wear pink, and if you need pink, maybe your closet looks like mine, no pink, call Shelly Staple or Shay Pace. Shelly's number 801-244-2598. Shay Pace 435-757-0060. And come out and support and join. It'll be a great match. Lady Braves from North Summit, the Lady Rebels from Rich, next Thursday night. And if you can't make it, tune in here on KADQ and mylocalradio.com. Our pregame starts at 6:30. Next Friday is that state playoff play-in game. And, again, game time and location for sure to be determined or to be announced. So we'll let you know as soon as we know. And then Saturday, October 26th, looking ahead a week or more, the volleyball state tournament first round. Rebels will have a bye in that first round, so no play-in game for Rich volleyball. And then also next Saturday, Wyoming Cowboys football hosting Nevada at War Memorial Stadium. And you can listen live to that here on KADQ. Well, that'll wrap up our Western Ag Credit Roundup calendar. Western Ag Credit, your partner in agriculture at 848 Front Street in Evanston. That also wraps up our post-game show brought to you by Epic Recreation. Visit epicrecreation.net or find them on Facebook. For tonight's videographer, Rob Leifson, our producer back in the studio, Preston Bush and Alyssa McDaniel, thanks so much. I thank you for tuning in. And until next time, I'm Ryan Steineckert. Go Rebels.
You've been tuned in to Rich High School football on Rebel Radio KADQ FM 98.3 with video streaming live online at mylocalradio.com. Today's game has been brought to you by Auto Farm Chevrolet, Evanston Regional Hospital, by Plains Tire, the Come On In of Casper, by Westar Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, Cash Honda Yamaha of Cache Valley, by the Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, and by MyLocalRadio.com. The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of MyLocalRadio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Old West Media. Our executive producer is Val Cook. We thank our office manager, Kayleen Anderson, and our sales manager, Julie Burley, along with Evanston's Elin Olaf, the Valley's Jake Hibbard, and production assistants Preston Bush and A.J. Lamb. The biggest thanks of all goes to our sponsors and to you for tuning in. We invite you to visit MyLocalRadio.com for archived games and past interviews with Rebel players and coaches, and like My Local Radio on Facebook to stay up to date with the games. Thank you for joining us on this presentation of Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ FM 98.3 and MyLocalRadio.com. Until next time, go Rebels!